You was on the Wi-Fi. Gotta do it, bro.
Okay, we live.
We live? Okay, so you had a question too, Bob. I know you said you had one from Big Country.
Oh yeah, he asked about that Job 1 and 5 about is celebrating birthdays a sin.
So what we have to do, y'all, is to deal with any subject matter. We deal with the we let the Bible teach itself concerning people trying to tell you what is sin. Sin is transgression of the law, right?
Right.
That's right.
So we have to make sure that whatever we saying, there was a blood sacrifice for that, because that's what it is. So if we will, let's go to that Job 1 and 1. We're gonna hit the 3 places where birthday is mentioned in the Bible.
Sister Eve said she didn't hear your response
To
the question about the COVID-19.
okay. So sister, what we're saying is there's multiple types of tests out there. If you don't want to know, swab, shalom, Michael, you can request a saliva test. If they don't offer that and you have some concerns with the nasal swab, then that's a personal decision that you have to make. But what we're concerned with is the vaccine. If you take that and have an underlying condition, it may create a major problem for you. Because now the reports are coming out that if you had it already and you recovered with no shot, your immune system is stronger than the people who's gotten the shot. And that's coming out of Israel right now after they doing their studies. They're just saying self-immunity is greater than all of the shots and the boosters coming up because they fading out. So y'all, this is hitting the wire like this, but if you have any concern about which test to take, you know, if you're concerned with the nasal, see if there's an opportunity for you to take the spit test. You know, other than that, that's pretty much where you at, unless, you know, there's another alternative method. But right now they can't force you to take a shot, but they can mandatory or make that mandatory that you test daily, or you test weekly, or you test whenever. You know, the problem is now they're trying to make people pay for the test. So,
Really?
you know, yeah, that's finna hit the courts next. They're saying if you still don't want the shot, then you gotta pay for the test because it's driving insurance costs up. Well, y'all do something about Wuhan over there in China and straighten this all out. Live stream messed up again, or we good? We'll eat.
Well, I'm looking at one that say 13 people and I'm buffering. Are you good?
You good? Everybody good? Okay. Okay, we're good. Good, y'all. Let's roll. So let's get to that Job 1. We're going to answer them, y'all. We're going to get right to the lesson at hand. Biblical free will. Sister Eve, I hope that answered your question. You know, if you don't want the nasal, there's other alternative methods to be tested. You know. So,
She said, okay.
yeah, whatever you feel your concerns with, that's a decision you have to make. You know, a lot of these gonna be personal decisions because they scaring the hell out of people right now with this COVID. They're talking about more strains coming. The test is the least of our worries. Okay, where you want to start at? We just started in 1, and where you want to pick it up? In 6?
Where you going to?
We're going to the book of Job. And this is just to answer Big Country's question.
Oh, okay.
He would just have some questions about birthdays. You know, people go into the Babylonian and they'll go into all of this, y'all. We stick with what the record says. Mm-hmm. You ain't got to worry about none of that. You ain't got to worry about is it legal or is it not.
Right.
Job what?
Job chapter 1, we're going to start about verse 6.
Well, he won't before that.
He won't before that.
At least about 3 or 4.
Well, we can start at 1 and 1.
Job 1 and 1.
There we go.
Let's see. So biblical free will. Alright, I'll get back to that. I think I got to check. All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Job, chapter 1, and we'll start our reading in verse 1. Let's get some understanding, families. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yah.
What was he?
He was perfect and upright and feared Yah.
See, so not only was he perfect and upright, but he feared Yah. And perfect means he understood every way of the law that we just spoke about. You know, the order of Melchizedek, he understood that. Backwards and forwards. He was perfect like Noah was getting off the ark. And not only that, but he was upright. He was an upstanding guy. That's why Satan came personally for this individual. So we got an understanding of who this individual is and how the Lord feel about him. Go ahead.
And eschewed evil.
And what he do?
Eschewed evil.
That means he told evil every time he saw it, get away from around her.
Right.
Get away from around her evil. He eschewed evil the same way Lot did, trapped in Sodom and Gomorrah. Can you imagine that? That means don't let it come into your mind. Even though you can see evil right there, the things that Lot was seeing, and he just shook his head. He was like, my God. But he was still stuck there. Wasn't no location salvation. You can't run from fornication.
No.
Let's read some more.
Verse 2. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yokes of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household. So that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east.
Y'all see that? Had more paper than anybody. But see, he was upright with the Most High. So it's telling us he was rewarded for keeping the commandments. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day.
Everyone his day. So you can look at this as saying, well, did he take, well, y'all cook this week and y'all cook next week? But it's saying everyone his day. His day meaning the day he was born. Everybody, they held a feast for the day that they was born. Go ahead.
And sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them.
What Job do?
He sent and sanctified them.
So let's get this one thing understood. Job, an upright man, feared the Lord, being blessed, and then his children are having their day, and Job goes sanctified. Now, if it's bad, Job don't know what he doing. And possibly Job is a lawbreaker then.
Right.
Based on what this is saying, but we know that ain't the truth. Because he knew how to sacrifice. What else to say?
And rose up early in the morning,
Uh-huh.
and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all.
Right, according to all his children, all 10 of them, he offering burnt offerings. Go ahead.
For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned.
It may be that my sons have sinned. Either a birthday of sin or it's not. So he has to be talking about some of the activity.
If it was a sin, it wouldn't be a maybe.
It wouldn't be a maybe there. That's what it would be. It would be my children are sinning coming with this. And then he couldn't sacrifice for continued sin. All of them doing it. That's 10 times a year. He gonna keep praying for them and they do the same thing? No. It says that they may have sinned like we'll do when you get to your birthday party. If you start to tell people what they got to bring you, what you got to have, you know, you get drunk on your birthday. There's people, glutton people that left here on their birthday.
Yeah.
Then had too much to drink, get behind the wheel of a car and kill themselves.
Yep.
Go ahead, that's just what he's talking about. Maybe they done got high mind. somebody toasting it up too much in
Yeah.
case they might have sinned. Go ahead.
It may be that my sons have sinned
Uh-huh.
and cursed Yah in their heart.
And done what?
Cursed Yah in their heart.
Uh-huh.
Thus did Job continually. Now, there was a day when the sons of Yah came to present themselves before the Most High, and Satan came also among them. And the Most High said unto Satan, Whence comest thou?
Uh-huh.
Then Satan answered the Most High and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Most High said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth?
What did the Father just say about Job? Read that again, and what he told the devil about Job. So we get no misunderstanding how the Most High felt about Job. And he ain't going to do it if Job teaching law-breaking, is he?
No.
Because the man that do and teach them shall be the what in the kingdom?
The least.
The least in the kingdom. Go ahead, read some more, bro.
That verse 8 from the top.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man,
Yes, sir.
one that feareth Yah and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Most High and said, Doth Job fear Yah for naught? Hast not thou made an hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he hath on every side?
Uh-huh.
Thou hast blessed the work of his hand.
Look at what Satan is saying. What did Satan say thou blessed?
The work of his hand.
So what he doing? He working, ain't he?
That's right.
Look, I mean, that's what kind of question is that though? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands. It's like, you know, you helping him out, but this is why everything you just named is why, because he's working according to the commandments of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Satan, you saying why the Most High blessed it?
Mm-hmm.
He even got common sense, don't he? Go ahead, what else to say?
And his substance is increased in the land.
Uh-huh.
But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Most High said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Most High.
See, so what Satan was informed of, you can't touch his soul. See, now you can do whatever you want to do with his flesh, but you cannot. I'm not going to give you authority to tamper with his soul. You're going to have, because you said around me, around him. That's what you said. If you take that hedge from everything I just named, and you did name his soul, you just said he'll curse you to your face, and you said about materialistic things and flesh.
Right.
So the Most High say, don't mess with his soul. Go ahead back to ALC.
That verse 6, the sons of God, let angels, right?
Right, at this point, because Lucifer is amongst them. See, so these are angels it's talking about. It ain't talking about no white man being the son of God coming amongst the throne and challenging anybody. No, Satan is who he has been since he was kicked out of heaven. A supernatural entity that's in charge of all wickedness that hit planet Earth. Shalom, bro. That's who he is.
Right.
That's who he always been after he failed. But he was made perfect and upright like Job was till pride was found in him. And that's what we're going to get down to biblical free will. We're going to see that pride is involved with the choice making. Let's get some more. What else to say?
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And there came a messenger unto Job, and said, The oxen were plowing, and the asses feeding beside them. And the Sabians fell upon them, and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
See, so now for people to say, well, all of this was because he was celebrating a birthday, what does the camels got to do with this?
Right.
Right.
What's the Sabians coming in? Do they come when people do this? See, you start to see what's really being attacked here. And not only that, we see that Satan ain't never said nothing about him. Look at him numbering his years. He's allowing his children to number their years. If this was a crime, that's what Satan come and do. He come and tell you, this is the crime they're committing, and you ain't punishing them like you did me. But Satan ain't talking about no birthday, is he?
No.
Did he challenge about the next birthday party? No, he said, I just want to get them all under one roof so you have 10 funerals on the same day. This is to try to hurt he's trying to put on you. I'm going to give you 10 funerals today. Not only that, your herds, your camel men. Let's see who else he punished. Go ahead.
Verse 16. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of Yah is fallen from heaven, and hath burned up the sheep and the servants, and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
So you see what's being destroyed is everything Satan named that had a hedge around it. And what he was blessed for. But it was all outer cup, so to speak. You know, but the Most High told him, no, you're not going to play with his soul. You're not going to manipulate him and try to strangle him to death in his sleep to make him curse me. No, it has to be what you talked about. He has increased in the land. That's what Satan made the deal for him. Didn't have nothing to do with his children's birthday. Go ahead, what else is saying?
Verse 18. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. And behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness, and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee.
Now let's see what this perfect and upright man do after all of this calamity. Y'all, this a lot of calamity, ain't it, in one day?
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yeah, that's a bit much, ain't it?
Yeah.
Let's read some more. I'm talking about when you hear somebody holler, Lord, what now? Give you the phone.
Right.
Go ahead.
Boy, verse 20.
Yeah.
Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head.
I know he didn't cut the hair off his head.
He shaved his head.
Go ahead.
And fell down upon the ground and worshipped.
What'd he say? And
said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Most High gave, and the Most High hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Most High. In all this, Job sinned not.
Job did what?
Sinned not. Nor charged Yah foolishly.
So now we see that had zero to do about a birthday.
Nothing.
It had nothing to do. It was Satan challenging Job's righteousness. That's what he come for. When you find favor with the Lord and he call you a servant, he coming for you because he needs you to fall off your horse. He needs you to be knocked off your square, so to speak, so you fall off your game, because we know what Ezekiel 18 say. A man that's been righteous his whole life and turned to wickedness, what ain't gonna be remembered no more?
His righteousness.
And if a wicked man turn from all his wickedness and turn to righteousness, what ain't gonna be mentioned no more? His wickedness. So we see this had nothing to do, but we gonna get with the 3 places that mention birthdays in the Bible, and then we're gonna get back to our class, Biblical Free Will 101. Y'all, we just have to go through these things and get some understanding. Next we're gonna go to Genesis 40 and 20. We're gonna see Pharaoh having a birthday. And you can say whatever you want to about the origins of it, but the Most High don't care nothing about them days like that unless you start to bring wickedness in. You start to light candles and tell them, make a wish.
Right.
How about they blow them off? I wish y'all was dead with the
Yeah.
presents y'all gave me. This ain't shit. I wanted some Jordans, these Skechers. What'd you wish for, baby? You'll find out if Austin Lane called.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Genesis, chapter 40, and we'll start our reading in verse 20.
Yes, sir.
Everybody there? Let's get it. And it came to pass the third day,
The what day?
the third day,
Uh-huh.
which was Pharaoh's birthday,
Which was what?
Pharaoh's birthday,
Uh-huh.
that he made a feast unto all his servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his
I
servants.
tell you, let's back this up so we'll get some understanding of why these things were done. We're going to back this up because Joseph is in jail at this time on a free case. Y'all understand this? He's in jail on a free case. Pharaoh's wife has accused him of trying to force her and take her, himself on her, I should just say, for sexual intercourse upon her. On a free case, she made it all up and he was through in jail. So back this up, man. Look like we may have to go back to 11.
Oh, shit, I'm looking at 39 and 20.
Huh? 39.
39 and 20 where it says, and Joseph's master took him and put him in prison.
Okay, we can read that. We'll skip down because that's what we was talking about.
Right.
Read that just them two and then we'll skip down.
I'm in Genesis 39 and verse 20.
Yeah, read that and then skip down to 40 and we'll get to subject matter and then we'll move down into that area because I want to get right on this free will class.
Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
The book of Genesis chapter 39 and verse 20.
Uh-huh.
And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound. And he was there in the prison.
Uh-huh.
But the Most High was with Joseph.
Who was with him?
The Most High was with Joseph
Uh-huh.
and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
So you see how the Most High say, I'll be with you no matter where you at. He like, no, I'm going to make sure the CO good with you.
Right.
He like, I'm going to put word in the CO ear, look out for you. Go ahead, read some up.
Verse 22.
Uh-huh.
And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it.
Uh-huh.
The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Most High was with him, and that which he did, Yahweh made it to prosper.
So the CO was prospering. Probably got a promotion after that because Joseph handling things now. Teaching them how to treat a prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
He put all things under his hand. He like, man, this ain't never worked out like this before. What's making them quiet? Why they behaving themselves like this? The CO was stunned.
Mm-hmm.
But he knew it was from the Lord. What else to say? 40 and 1.
40 and 1.
Uh-huh.
And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt.
Uh-huh.
And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them inward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound.
So he was fired up at his baker and his butler, so to speak.
Right.
And he said, y'all throw him in prison too. So y'all read that rest of the part, but we're going to get on down for time's sake. And we're going to get down to what happened with Joseph and these butlers. And,
Yeah, the dream is
well, you might as well roll in,
Yeah,
bro.
that's
Go
what I'm
ahead.
about to say.
Go ahead.
verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season inward.
Uh-huh.
And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream.
Right.
the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning,
Right.
and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his Lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream.
Y'all see, this is what we're talking about, how powerful dreams are. When the Most High say my children gonna dream dreams and have visions,
Yeah.
y'all, when a dream change your countenance the next day, part of you is telling yourself it's just a dream. But the other part of you was saying, but it's too real. It's just too real. Mm-hmm. The things I saw, they ain't supposed to be like that in a dream. And it'll have your face looking strange and you'll be looking like this, you'll be like that dream. Go ahead, what else to say?
At verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to Yah?
Who they belong to?
Belong to Yah?
They don't belong to Miss Rudolph. Miss Rudolph can't interpret dreams. She tells you what you want to hear based off the answers that you're giving her. She's a cold reader. You walk in with gold chains on, gators and lizards. She say either you done hit Powerball or you a drug dealer. And if you looking like chicken grease on your fingers, she say, well, it's got to be a drug dealer because all they do is go shopping and go eating and take their friends. You can't spend the money on nothing else.
Right.
So she start cold reading. It's a fat boy you need to watch out for. She don't tell him what the fat boy name is. His wheels start turning. That got to be Fat Jerry. That's Fat Jerry. And then she say, starts with an R. You like, no, I don't know nobody. A B? No. A J. Yeah, there it is. That's Fat Jerry. She could have went all through the alphabet. You wait to give her info. But no, Joseph said, dreams, interpretations belong to the Most High. He'll interpret any dream you have. You don't have to get into horoscope. Because when you get into horoscope, it's going to end up being a horror for you. And you're going to be looking like they looking. Go ahead, what else to say?
Do not interpretations belong to Yah?
Uh-huh.
Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee unto thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after that former manner when thou wast his butler.
So he said, you're going to get your job back.
Right.
You're going to come off of suspension without pay. You're going to get your job back. You're going to be good. Go ahead. What's the other dream?
Verse 14. But think of me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house.
See, you see the only request Joseph asking? Man, just remember me, man. When he set you back up, just, put a bug in his ear. Let me get up out of here too. Go ahead.
Verse 15. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. And in the uppermost basket there was of all manner of baked meats of Pharaoh. And the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on the tree, and the birds shall eat of thy flesh off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday.
Which was Pharaoh's what?
Birthday. And he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership again. And he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph.
What did he do?
Did not remember Joseph.
See, forgot that quick who helped him out.
Right. But forgot him.
See, now that was on Pharaoh's birthday. He put the butler back in his place. But y'all, we're going to get right into 41. And we're going to see that Pharaoh had another dream. Y'all read that 1 through 8. And then we're going to pick this right back up in 41 and 9.
Right.
Tell you what, pick it up in 41 and 8. And y'all pick up the rest, 1 through 8. And I just want to touch on this because this is what's happened late. Go ahead.
Brew down there.
And it was 2 full years, y'all, after this, before Joseph spent 2 more years in jail after that. 2 more, y'all.
On a free case.
On a free case. And a promise that wasn't kept.
Right.
Go ahead, read some more, bro.
Genesis chapter 41, verse, you said 8?
Yeah.
Verse 8. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled. And he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, but there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh.
See, these was all Miss Rudolph. Tell us what it was. He like, look, if I can remember it, I'll tell you what I'm paying y'all for. Y'all ain't gonna pull that Miss Rudolph on me. What did I dream? Go ahead, see what else you say.
Verse 9. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day.
What do he remember?
My faults this day.
Yeah, you remember them 2 years ago. Go ahead.
Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me inward, and the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams. To each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto my office, and him he hanged. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself.
What did he do?
Shaved himself and changed his raiment and came on in unto Pharaoh.
And that's just basic what you have to do. You can't come out of the hole with them whole clothes on in front of the judge or the king. They have to shave you, send you to the barbershop, and put you in a suit.
Make you presentable.
You got to be presentable. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee, that thou canst understand the dream to interpret it.
We can hold her, y'all, and the reason I want to just go back through that is to let you know, Pharaoh, when he interpreted the dream for him through the Most High, Pharaoh restored Joseph at that point too. But when we back in 40 and 20, what you're seeing, that what happens on Pharaoh's birthday, Joseph did a good thing on that day. He interpreted the dream. The boy got looked at, he just asked one thing. Man, just talk to him for me about this. Because it's just a feast. It didn't say nothing about, and wicked Pharaoh's birthday, he did this. So that's the second instance that we see. And there's nothing tied to wickedness about it other than an interpreted dream that one man was getting killed for plotting on King Pharaoh. It was treason. Joseph just told them what it was. Ain't nothing still, and y'all need the words what we actually see the physical word birthday. We got one more, y'all. We're going to go to Matthew 14 and 6. And then we're going to hit Psalms 90 and 12, and we're going to get off of that and get right on biblical free will, y'all, because we got to get caught up a little bit. It's 2:30. So give me right quick Matthew 14, 6. Okay, well, you're going to start at 1, because this concerns John the Baptist. And y'all, we can see in the language, it has 0 to do. So when somebody give you Job or something like this, bad things happen on everybody's birthday. Mm-hmm. Who birthday on 9/11 when the tower was dropped? You think they want to have a party that day? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
What if your birthday on Halloween? What you do? You get a day to Halloween? What if your birthday on Christmas? See, and what we're talking about is day of one's birth. When an event is put on that day, that don't make that event rule that day.
Right.
You can't control the day that you're born. Let's read.
Matthew chapter 14, verse 1. At that time, Herod, the tetrarch, did I pronounce that right?
Yes, sir.
The tetrarch heard of the fame of Jesus. And he said unto his servants, This is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John, and bound him, and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife.
See, so why John the Baptist is coming in, it say he put him in jail because what John did was told he told Philip's wife, which is Herod's sister-in-law. Technically, this is sister-in-law. It was Herod's brother. He told her, you know you ain't supposed to be doing that. You married to his brother. What you doing? You committing adultery? So he locked him up about telling her about her behavior. You flirting around like this, you going through the family like this? Let's read some up.
Verse 4. So John said unto him, It is not lawful for thee to have
What
her.
did John say to her?
It is not lawful for thee to have her. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude, because they counted him as a prophet.
See, he was going to kill John. Go ahead.
But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them, and pleased her.
Whose birthday was it?
Herod's.
And he had a feast day as well, and he had a dancer there. But guess who it is? It's his niece. Mm-hmm. Not only is he after his sister-in-law,
Right.
but now he's after the daughter of his brother. He want to double up, so not only is he breaking the one law, he done moved to another law of having the mother and the daughter. Mm. Even if he's lusting up here. What you got, Micaiah?
Beat me to it. I was gonna say she was dancing in front of me.
Yeah.
Hot lips.
Boy, hot lust. Look, ready to make half the kingdom reign.
Loins on fire.
All on fire, bro. Go ahead, bro. You talking about make it rain.
Verse 7. Whereupon he promised with an oath to give her whatsoever she would ask. And she, being before instructed of her mother, said, Give me here John the Baptist's head in a charger. And the king was sorry.
What was the king?
Sorry. Nevertheless, for the oath's sake, and them which sat with him at meat, he commanded it to be given her. Verse 10. And he sent and beheaded John in the prison, and his head was brought in a charger, and given to the damsel, and she brought it to her mother.
So, and y'all can keep reading and see the Messiah had John's body buried. But this is how lust overpowered Herod so bad that he offered, and when you get into the book of Mark, it breaks it down, that she was dancing for him. The dance was so, that's when he made the deal. Till I give her anything she wants, half the kingdom. I just tell her to move them hips like that again. And her mother whispered to her, tell him you want John the Baptist's head on the charger. And he knew, he like, man, but I made the deal. It just happened to be Pharaoh's birthday. But it didn't have anything to do with what John the Baptist's head got cut off, did it? It got cut off because John questioned him on the law breaking of having his brother's wife and his brother's daughter. It didn't say nothing in here about his birthday, did it?
No.
Them events just happened on the king's birthday. That John the Baptist was killed because he was lusting after two individuals. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing else but that lust, because that's why he had John killed. Wow. He didn't have John killed about nothing because he didn't come to the birthday party. Let's run this last one, Psalms 90 and 12, because there's something very important in here, and you can't do this without knowing this day. Now, y'all, like we say, you can get into that witchcraft part of putting candles and blowing them out and making strange wishes and things like that, y'all. That takes it to a whole nother level. And can't nobody come unless my gift is over $200, and don't worry about coming. You can't do this. You see, everywhere we had in here, they made a feast for all their service, and everybody was eating freely. They weren't charging nobody for their feast to come. Give me Psalm 90 and 12. What it say?
Psalm chapter 90, verse 12.
Okay, start at verse 11, yeah. No, it's gonna give me, say 8, yeah, you did say that right, 8, let's go 8.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
Thou hast set all iniquities before thee, our secret sins in the light of thy countenance. For all our days are passed away in thy wrath. We spend our years as a tale that is told. The days of our years are 80 years and 10.
What is that?
70.
That's the days of our years are 80. So technically,
70.
we done come down to 70 years.
Yep.
We were at 1,000 years if Adam and them had never sinned. That would have put us into the light. Noah got on the ark, it was reduced to 120 years, and now it's 70. If you make it to 70, you've done it. I'm talking about in this word, because it's a 70-year course. You know, and then anything after that, you're on good time. Go ahead.
Verse 10 again.
The
days of our years are 80 years and 10. And if by reason of strength they be 80 years,
80.
Yet is their strength, labor, and sorrow. For it is soon cut off, and we fly away.
See, because you're going to die if you get another 10. If you get to 90, you still have to look forward to dying, and your body is going to start to show you, even though you're living longer, you're still living that age. And you can feel things ain't the same anymore. You can't screw that top off the jelly like you used to when you was 10 and 11. Now you got to have one of them things and pop it loose. Because you're hitting it up under the bottom used to work.
Right.
But it don't work no more because you ain't got the same grip no more. So even though you're getting older, your body is getting older as well.
Right.
You can't dunk like you used to. Jordan can't even dunk no more. He can get up there. But you try to get one of them to dunk, man, they don't even chance it anymore. Let's get some more.
Verse 11. Who knew of the power of thine anger? According to thy fear, so is thy wrath. So teach us to number our days.
So do what?
Teach us to number our days.
How do you do that? How are you taught to number your days? How will you find out how old you is? From the day of one's birth all the way to that day reaches again, then you count what? One.
Yeah.
Without knowing that, or if they don't matter, then how old are you? You don't know, do you?
No.
Usually they wean children at 2 years old. In the biblical days, you got to get off the breast milk. Isaac was weaned and a big celebration was given, but he turned a certain age at that point. Let's read some more. What else to say?
Verse 12 again. So teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom.
That we may apply our hearts unto wisdom, because the number of years, when you saying I'm 40 and you still talking about what you used to do when you was 20, you'd have lost 20 years of life. You can't go back to 20. You can't talk about 20 like it's going to happen tomorrow. 20 ain't coming back. 40 is now. So you got to start thinking 40. So and when it teach you to number your years, because you're in generation, things happen, jubilees, you're supposed to be right here. You need to have that understanding. And generation is usually 40 years for a man. If you don't know the direction you're going by the time you get 40, you're in trouble.
Ouch.
You have to have a direction, at least know where I'm going. You can't be figuring out the road at that point. Yo, you're 5 years on this side of the hill. 35 is halfway. It just said 70, didn't it? 35, you're standing on the top of the mountain. 40, you 5 years down the hill. And you don't know which way you're going yet. It's going to be trouble, y'all. So just wanted to run them, and you see the only way you can be taught to number your days, and days going to turn into years, is to know when your birthday is. And we see each people had these days, they just didn't go over the top with them. They just had a dinner. Y'all come on over, the Lord to bless me another year. It's my soul day. It's the Babylonian stuff that they bring in. If you ain't doing that, you ain't committed no sin. Nowhere in here in the Bible does it say that. Does it say, and when one number his days and his years, he shall be put to death? It ain't in here. Go ahead, brother.
You refer to the Babylonian stuff. You refer
Yeah.
to like the birthday candle, the wizards.
And all of that and all of that stuff that the Babylonians brought in, that was just forms of witchcraft.
Right.
Making cakes to the queen of heaven. You ain't doing that. What you got back there, LC? Fossilized cousin. Yeah, they read out of there, and it's got a bunch of misquotes in it too. But that's what you're talking about when you take a resource and put it over the source. Now it's 3 places in here where it mentions birthday, and it ain't got nothing to do with that being illegal, but events taking place on that, because it's a king's birthday. So naturally, you mention stuff like how they was going off, just going on and on about Obama inviting 600 people into COVID. But he's a former president, so they're talking about his birthday like that. That's all they doing. They just saying they didn't care about it being his birthday. They're saying it may be a super spreader on his birthday. Still ain't got nothing to do with that. They're talking about the event that may happen. We got 600 people here, and ain't none of y'all got masks on. Y'all, it ain't nowhere in the Bible that says that. How do you get 70 unless you count him? How did Adam know he was 930? How is Methuselah was how old? 969. The oldest man that ever lived on, but he ain't lived a day yet. He has not lived a day yet. Nobody has. So how did you get 969 unless you was counting what? Years, ain't you?
That's right.
And birthdays. It's not mandatory that you have a feast and invite people. It's not a mandatory thing. But if you just want to say, look, from where I come from, y'all, I should have been dead 5 years ago. The Lord has been blessed me. Y'all come on over. Don't bring nothing. What I need to bring? Nothing but yourself. I want to share the gift the Lord has showed with me. I want to just, bring y'all over and celebrate my soul day with me. Y'all, ain't nothing in these scripts tell you can't do that. It's
Right.
just if you add the other stuff to it.
Right.
Then it becomes something else. Y'all, we're going to get into that and we're going to see why that plays a part. Anybody got any more questions before we get going? Because we're going to have to roll on these.
Good to go.
Okay, y'all, so biblical free will. Y'all know how we get down with it, the order of Melchizedek, our high priest, Yahushua, Hamashiach. Male, female, free or bond, rich or poor, Jew or Gentile is how we have to look at the law of all of this. And y'all, everything we read about birthdays except for King Herod, it was in the form of Melchizedek, or what we're talking about is a consciousness level and law keeping. That was the problem. It had nothing to do with the event, but it named the laws that were broken. It told about the butlers, didn't it, what they did, and why they were punished. And Joseph D. done on that day got him out of jail 2 years ago. It just took 2 years. The baker finally fessed up. Well, you know, man, I'm tripping. It's my fault. I'm just so glad to get my position back. I forgot about him. But he in jail now, and I'm telling you, he can get it done for you.
Right.
But that was remembered from what? Whose birthday was that? Did he remember that from? So y'all, what are we talking about here? Go ahead, bro. Let's get right to it. Free will. And what free will, y'all, is liberty with restriction. That's what it means. There's always going to be laws. There ain't nothing that you can do as thy will, and that location ain't full of decadence. Because what if this individual say, free will, I want to do what I want to do, and snatch that baby out of Levi's hands? And it's legal. What did I say? Somebody gonna die. Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. She ain't here yet.
Okay.
This section.
Let's get it, y'all. Deuteronomy 30. We're gonna go 11 through 19. But first, before we do that, give me Exodus 20, y'all. Just give me that real quick so we can understand the law of free will. Because, y'all, all of this is based on something that most people don't seem to get an understanding of. This is about a marriage. This is the mystery. This is a marriage covenant. It's a family. Marriage extends beyond just husband and wife. It's a whole family, it's household that are married together. And once you understand that, you'll understand these scriptures, what it's talking about, what you're choosing up. You're choosing to belong to a marriage covenant. And everybody that come along with it, I'm a part of that. We're part of a group. We are fellowship members. This is what it's going to be in the kingdom. Many should come from the east and the west and sit down with who? Many. You want to get in on that ceremony, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it, y'all.
Where you want to start in that?
Let's start at Exodus 20 and 1. And that's just so we get some understanding, y'all. And whenever you hear anything about different types of Bible and somebody trying to get you caught up in word etymology, just go to Exodus 20. If the law ain't changed, that book is good. You ain't got to worry about, see, bosom mean this and that. We don't care nothing about that. Let's go to Exodus 20. Been asking this for months now about Exodus 20. How does word etymology change the law or the meaning of the law? What they're doing is just trying to change your mind. Go ahead.
Reading in the book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 1. And Yah spake all these words, saying,
Go 1 through 6, please, brothers.
I am the Most High, thy Elohim,
Uh-huh.
which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
No other gods before me. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Verse 5, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Most High, thy Elohim, am a jealous Elohim.
Uh-huh.
visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Of them that do what?
That hate me.
See, you'll hate the Lord if you say don't do his laws. You hate him. Let's not play around. Let's just lay it out. If you say the Most High light is going out or the light is flickering, you're a hater of the Most High, because you're telling basically an individual, I wouldn't trust God's commandments. Well, who else you gonna trust? There's only one other entity on earth, and his name is Satan, because he didn't have nobody that taught him evil. Is it anywhere in anybody's writings, anywhere, who taught Satan to be evil? What spirit tempted Satan?
Pride.
Is pride a spirit? Did that tempt him? Where was that pride located? It wasn't located outside of Satan. So it ain't like nothing was sent to it. It's a part of free will. The free will say, one day you may want to be like God. That's why we start off in this Exodus. Don't bow down to nobody that said nothing like this, who was made by God. Why would you bow to something that was made by God? And he tell you not to. I'm jealous. Well, what about the Son of God? Well, he gave us permission to do that. All throughout the scriptures, from Genesis to Revelation, he gave us permission that there will be one. And you got a perfect example of Moses was called the what? The intercessor. How you going to accept that and don't accept the Messiah? The problem was he never said Moses was going to be the Messiah. Because Moses with his own lips said, there's another one coming. That's the one you got to look out for, not me. So he told you it was another one coming.
Right.
So how do you have a problem with the Messiah? Let's read some more.
Verse 6.
Yeah.
And showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments.
Showing mercy to thousands of them that love me. And what's the kicker? And do what?
Keep my commandments.
Y'all see, the law must be a part of free will. If you take the law away, it ain't no free will, it's just lawlessness. Deuteronomy 30, 11 through 19. We're going to speed this up just a bit. Y'all, you know, in some of them, what they call fed camps. Y'all, you know, they give you free will at them fed camps. They'll let you, it ain't even no gate around. They see if you go disobey and walk off and go over to the service station and come back on property like that. Ain't no fences, ain't no gates. You walking around freely up in there. When they call them fed camps, they're going to send them to Camp Fed. This means like luxury prison, so to speak. You basically just on house arrest, technically in jail. Ain't no fence to surround you. That's what they're giving you, liberty with restriction. You can walk around all over there. But if you get in that, cross that highway and go over to that Kentucky Fried Chicken and come back, we're gonna send you to real prison then. Who would do that? But somebody that's done got prideful and think basically now they running the prison different than how Joseph did. Joseph didn't extend his authority that was given to him, and he said, man, just tell him about me, man. Have him remember me, man. That was the only request he had, wasn't it?
Right.
But now you got people bringing in cell phones and Camp Fed. You ain't changed your mind, and that's what they trying to see. How do you do with liberty, with free will in this prison, with no fence up? What you gonna do? Will you go across the street?
Not if you got any sense.
Well, okay. So where we at on that?
We're back to Deuteronomy 30.
Yes, sir.
We're going to start that reading in verse 11.
Yes, sir.
All right, family, we're in Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 11. And it reads.
Hold on, here a few pages flip.
Okay.
We good, y'all? Let's go.
For this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven,
Is not where?
in heaven,
Uh-huh.
that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven, and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it.
So this telling us don't get caught up in all that universe talk. You can't be caught up in we talk to our ancestors out in the universe. It ain't up there. You ain't getting nothing from up there. What they gonna tell you from up there? It ain't up there. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 13. Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou shouldest say, who shall go over the sea for us, and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. But the word is very nigh unto thee.
Where is it?
It is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth,
Y'all see where it's at? In your mouth. Go ahead.
and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it.
See, that's where it should be, and it's always gonna be near to you. It's always gonna be near to you if it's in your mouth and it's in your heart. See, it has to be two places. You just can't have lip service. You have to be with deeds, spirit and truth, indeed. Not in tomfoolery and you just talking a good game.
Right.
A lot of smooth talkers can talk a good game. But when it come down to doing it, it ain't in their heart, y'all. And you know, when you hear people say, no, he ain't got the heart for this. A lot of people don't have the heart for this. You think they hanging in there and then they opt out, y'all. And it ain't the first time. That's why it ain't no shock to us when you see somebody fall off by the wayside. We read Paul's top man, Demas, fell off. Paul was in jail. They like, man, Demas gone back to the world. Man and won 2 Cabbage Patch contests. And see, they say he ate, he was in a hog eating contest and won that. Well, yeah, bro.
Verse 15.
Yeah.
See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil.
Yo, that's free will.
Yes, sir.
This what I'm setting before you. I'm not going to set anything else. This the choice you got. Good in life, death and evil. Them the choices right there. Those are your free will choices. You make the choice on what you decide you want to do. Go ahead, read some more.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
In that I command thee this day to love the Most High thy El, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Most High thy Elohim shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess.
So we see here, this is the deal. If you choose this side, you're going to get plenty blessing. But you're free to choose that side. I'm not going to make y'all a robot. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to give y'all free will to choose life or death. It's up to you. That's the free will, y'all, life or death. It ain't no in between. You ain't got to discuss with nobody. Well, how's that free will when he's still ordering you what to do? Well, you're his product. He still has to order you what to do because you're a brand name. And we're going to get to some Genesis 1:26 so you understand that all of his subjects are brand name. There's still a line you can't cross. It has to be. If you cross the line with him, you still gonna be in somebody else's rules and regulations. I don't care how you talking to your ancestors. There's laws of America, ain't it? Them ancestors gonna teach you anything about how to get around these laws. Can they?
They can't teach you
They
nothing.
can't teach you nothing.
They can't speak.
They can't speak. Boy, look here. Go ahead. What else to say?
Verse 17.
Uh-huh.
But if thine heart turn away, so that thou will not hear,
So that thou will do what?
will not hear,
Uh-huh.
but shall be drawn away, and worship other gods and serve them.
This is the only common denominator for free will. Love the Lord with all your heart and soul that we just read, Exodus 20 and this one right here. And then the other, or go serve other gods. Other gods started with Satan. There's no other God, so to speak, that men worship that was above Satan. There's no head above the serpent. Every other God falls below him. If the Most High say, how you gonna even worship a lesser God than Satan? You out here worshiping poop butt God. Either be cold or hot. You can't be lukewarm. What else you say?
Verse 18. I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land, whither thou passest over Jordan to go to possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live.
See, so that's what the Most High say. Go and finish that out.
Verse 20.
Shalom Aliyah.
That thou mayest love the Most High thy Elohim, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him. For he is thy life, and the length of thy days, and thou mayest dwell in the land which the Most High sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob.
So we got some structure, y'all, on what free will is. It's either you're going to keep the commandments of the Lord or you're going to serve another God. There ain't no in between, ain't no secret mystery teachings nowhere else. If you're not serving the Most High, you're serving Satan and his demons. They may be called other names, but nowhere else in this Bible, in no other readings anywhere, does it talk about any other gods to be worshipped or any other entity that will come into play that free will is chosen. And guess who everybody choose? I'm talking about the top free willers. They're choosing Satan. Ain't that what Anton LaVey did? Ain't that what Aleister Crowley did?
Yep.
Ain't that what KISS do? And it's in capital letters, KISS.
Right.
Kings in Satanic Service. Satanic Service.
Right.
WASP, WASP, we are Satan's people. All of these people are making free will choices to worship Satan, even Luciferians, and we're talking about the Freemasons. They say from the first house up to the 29th house, you can play around. But when you get to the 30th degree through the 32nd degree, you have to you must acknowledge that Lucifer is God. They ain't named no other gods. They ain't saying you must acknowledge Buddha is God. They ain't said this is in witchcraft, so you don't have your own free will. There's still rules you're playing by. You know, Freemason got a whole rule book.
Yeah.
If you reveal our secrets, what they say they're gonna do? Cut your tongue out.
Yeah.
Throw it in a rough season. It's those rules. So your free will is still limited to their rules, ain't it?
Right.
I won't get my tongue cut off if I don't tell no secrets.
No.
So y'all free will is still free will. It just means somebody's laws, statutes, and judgments, you're going to be doing their liberty with restriction. It's the same thing across the board. Either you're going to serve the Most High and his commandments, or you're going to be serving Satan or one of his offshoots. There's no head above the serpent. There's no evil that Isaiah 45:7, there was nothing created at the beginning. And he said, and he created evil and it was good. That ain't nowhere in nobody's Bible, anywhere.
Right.
Let's get right to it since we established the law. Give me Luke 6:43 and Matthew 15:19, y'all. And what this is talking about is, y'all, we have to become trees. Trees bear fruits.
Right.
And that may mean physical offspring. And if you are made a eunuch for the kingdom, then your fruit is bearing new members every day. Go ahead, brother. Yeah. No, I got that with Genesis 1:26.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, y'all, what we're talking about is free will. When you think you're able to do whatever you want, you're still serving somebody else. You're serving their ways. That's when you hear people say, I'm just spiritual.
Right.
What does that mean? If you ask them, how can I be spiritual like you? Does it have any rules? And they stumped at this point. They're like, well, I don't know. Well, how do you be spiritual? What does that mean?
Right.
Can I drive my car on Thursday? Do you have a Sabbath?
Right.
Spiritual, you're just spiritual. What happens if I break a rule of being spiritual? Is there punishment for it? You know, I ain't got that far with it yet. See, so when you hear that type of foolishness, it's just basically saying, I want to do God's commands, but the free will I want to do is, I want to make up the laws as I go along. Well, he said, you can't do that with me. You can't make up your rules for me to adhere to you. It's Isaiah 55, 8, 9. My ways are not your ways.
Right.
My ways are much higher than your ways. You can't lower me to your standard. I know what you think. I know what you like to think. And it's whoremongering and fornication always on y'all mind. And y'all think that's what I think all the time.
Lasciviousness.
Boy, look here. Where we at on that? Where we at? Luke 6:43, Matthew 15:19.
What it say in that term?
Luke chapter 6, verse 43.
You need to bag it up or you good? Okay.
It says, for a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither doeth a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
See, so there's no middle ground with this. There ain't no way an evil tree could bring forth good fruit. Satan is never going to help you out, ever. He kills children. We just read in Job what he did, what he was allowed to do. He was allowed to destroy flesh. He's allowed to do that because of what Adam did. It's dying anyway.
That's right.
The problem is the soul. You can't let him get at your soul. Flesh is going to die anyway. But he has never, ever helped anybody since he failed. Ever helped anybody. So, he doesn't do that. He likes chaos in your life. And y'all think about Job, that was one day, all of it's gone. That's like waking up, both your cars have been broken into and stripped. They like it, that race, and I'm gonna get you sucker, the stolen car, strip car race. House burned up. Children's house burned up. You keep getting the news like that in one day. Job gone.
Cattle gone.
Bank done collapsed. All the money gone.
Children dead.
Children dead. All this in one day.
Right.
And you say, naked I came.
Right.
Naked I go. He gave me those things. That's understanding liberty with restrictions. That's understanding what free will is. I chose this side of it when I said I'll join the team. This comes with choosing that side. Go ahead.
Verse 44. For every tree is known by his own fruit.
By his what?
Own fruit.
His own fruit. Go ahead.
For of thorns men do not gather thistles, nor of brambles.
No, read that again.
All right, verse 44 again. For every tree is known by his own fruit.
Right.
For of thorns men do not gather figs,
Right.
nor of bramble.
Of a bramble bush.
A bramble bush gather they grapes.
See, it's saying basically, a tree is not known. When you go to a fig, there's not thorns in there like a rose bush. You don't have to worry about picking out fig tree and a thorn stick your hand. Neither a bramble bush, what I say right there? Neither a bramble bush for grapes. Shalom, y'all. So a bramble bush, y'all, is like a tumbleweed, something that kind of hangs you up. You don't expect to find that in a cluster of grapes or being, when you plant a vineyard. There's no bramble bushes in that. The two don't go together, but that's what it's saying an evil tree produce. Thorns in what appears to be good. You may think it's good, but it ain't. It's like the record business. If we get you to sing sin and go against God, we're going to pay you in fame. No money. If we do pay you in fame, we're going to lock you into a contract for life. And Jay-Z saying, do as thy will, but he's under orders now. His wife has to dress up like Semiramis on occasions and wear Semiramis outfits and then give herself a demonic name, Sasha Fierce.
Yeah.
That's her alter ego. His alter ego is doeth thy will. He got a name. He make the all-seeing eye to let you know who he represents, don't he?
Yeah.
Is that free will?
Free will.
That's free will, but it's still with rules and restrictions, ain't it?
Yeah.
Genesis 1:26. Did we finish Matthew 19?
No, we can
Okay.
go first.
Okay.
25.
Uh-huh.
A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good.
Uh-huh.
And an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For of the abundance of his heart, his mouth speaks.
See, the mouth is always going to be a witness for you. You're going to tell on yourself. That's why they separate you when they get you. You're going to tell on yourself and everybody else. Well, I was there, but I didn't pull the trigger. That's all we need to know. You was there. You're going to get some time. You may not get much time as the trigger man, but he just told us he was there, but he didn't have the gun either. So one of y'all had the gun, but we got both y'all there now with your own confessions.
Right.
For with the mouth the heart speak.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's why when people say you say something to somebody and it hurt them, like that term that sticks and stone may break my bone, but words would never hurt me. That's a lie. There's words that people ain't spoke to each other in 20 years. Man, you know when you said that about my auntie, that hurt me. Well, dog, you could have told me, no, man, you should have knew that. People don't play around like that. Why would you say something like that? Man, that's why you ain't spoke to me this long. Those are words that cut to the bone. The book of James talk about the tongue no man can tame.
Mm-hmm.
You can tame a dolphin, you can tame a lion. When you go to the circus, but you know the only thing they ain't got this tame that they whooping with a whip, the tongue. And here he is, the tongue master. He's coming out, look at him whooping those tongues into shape. You can make an animal do anything. You train water mammals to dance for you in front of crowds. But what can't you tame? This right here. And you know how we know they can't tame it? Because they're punishing you for loose lips all over the world now. What did you just say to that individual? We're punishing you. That's a fine and considered a hate crime. We're punishing you what's coming out of your mouth. Y'all, so we have to be circumspect and conscious of what we let come out of our mouth. And we say we carry in this brand name, this is why you can't have blessings and cursings coming out at the same time. And you say you carrying this, that's like buying a bootleg Gucci purse from the Chinese shop. You know that ain't real.
Yeah.
And you up in the club walking proudly. And no, ain't nothing in there but some change and 3 broke cigarettes. But you got that on your own. And no, it's fake. Where we at? Who got a question back there? Y'all good?
Oh, yeah.
Shalom, Emo.
Do you want that Matthew 5?
Yeah, what's that Matthew 5?
and
15,
19?
no, it's 15, 19.
Yeah, 15 and 19.
Yeah.
Then it's sort of like,
And then y'all gonna get right into this Sirach, and y'all gonna get some more good understanding on what free will is. Free will is liberty with restrictions. There's no such thing as free will. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. There's no God, so to speak, on this planet that will allow it. Satan don't allow it.
Right. You gonna come in as Satan and make your own rules?
Make your own rules. Now, some of us have probably done things, you know, you probably look here, wake up in the morning and Satan sitting at the foot of your bed talking about, look, I need to write that down, what y'all was doing last night. I ain't never seen that before. You know you done fell to another level of wickedness. What'd you just say to him about his mama? I need to write that down, man. This rotten tree work is really getting work. When you become lower than Satan, when you have individuals that do stuff that Satan don't do. Satan ain't never told you not to keep God's law. Ever. But you got Negroes down here less than him that's licking his boots, telling you to break the law. Why? Because Satan wants them to do it because they're going to be with him. Because it said you can't enter the kingdom if you do that, right? So where else they going to be? He don't even do that. Let's get it, y'all. What's up, bro? Come on.
Chapter 12, verse 34 through 37.
Yes, sir. Right after this, Matthew 15:19. Did we hit that yet?
No, that's it.
Go ahead. Let's hit that real quick, and then what you say, Thomas? It was
Matthew chapter 12, verse 34 through 37.
right about the tree again.
Matthew chapter 15.
Uh huh.
You said verse 19.
Yeah.
Verse 19. For out of the heart proceedeth evil thought.
What come out of the heart?
Evil thought.
Uh huh.
Murders, adulteries, fornications, theft, false witness, blasphemy.
Uh huh.
These are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defile not a man.
See, so when we're talking about what defiles a man, we're talking about past unclean. See, unclean means usually, in most cases, you're unclean until the evening. And that means it's a contamination period. But defilement means you're no good. You're rotten. It's like when somebody come in behind you in the bathroom, you're like, damn, you need to put some homicide tape up in there. Something dead in you. Boy, there's something defiled up in there. Rope it off, put some chalk down the line or something. But to be unclean, we see a lot because you had to bury bodies. You understand what I'm saying? But there still wasn't a contamination period to make sure that body didn't explode on you and you got dead flesh on you. That's what unclean means. If you have intercourse, when you're able, when you're of age, it says you're unclean until the evening. That's 12 noon to right at twilight. Right before the sun go down. That time period lets you know if something is contaminated with you because it's going to emit mucus and fluid out of spots it's supposed to not come out of like that. If you got yellow stains in your drawers, there's something wrong.
So you need to have that looked at.
Boy, look. No, and you can't put on no Batman drawers and tomorrow he crying. No, he ain't crying. You are clean to eat. Y'all, it's contamination period because we had to bury the dead. What are you gonna do? Leave them on the earth and say you can't leave a body hanging on a tree? Somebody got to get it down then, don't they?
Yep.
That means you have to be careful when you get that down off the tree. And you have to bury that, but it's only to eat. It's just to make sure we're not passing any contamination. That's it. That's all the unclean to evening mean. But defilement is a whole nother subject when you come from here and say, I don't trust that Bible, I believe it's half tampered with. I don't trust none of the laws in it. You are defiled. Right. Ain't no need praying for them. That's casting your pearls before swine. Ain't no need trying to keep going, keep going, keep going. You're wasting your time. It's defiled. Where we at?
I like that Jacob.
What Jacob said?
The Rolling Stones in their 80s talking about they can't get no satisfaction.
They can't get no satisfaction in the 80s. Hell, it's one the blood even still circulating.
He call them the Rolling Bones.
Right.
Crazy. Where we going? Matthew 15 and 19. Did we do that? I don't even think they did that 15, 19.
That's what we did.
Yeah, we did just do that. You said Matthew 12 out, 34 and 37. Huh?
34 to 37.
Okay. All right, this is per Brother Thomas. At Matthew chapter 12, we'll start the reading in verse 34. Everybody there? Matthew chapter 12 and verse 34. O generation of vipers.
O generation of who?
Vipers.
See how I keep comparing everything to a serpent or snake behavior? He says it's a generation of them. Go ahead.
How can ye, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh.
Yes, sir.
A good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth good things.
That's right.
And an evil man out of the evil treasure bringeth forth evil things. But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by the words thou shalt be justified, and by the words thou shalt be condemned.
See, your words is what's your words.
Yep.
See, and when the Most High said in Deuteronomy 30, I call the heaven and earth to record, and then you got men out here talking about how you write your own lesson. Look, heaven and earth is writing against you. Those are angels. They recording everything you doing and writing it down. Not only that, but if Satan hear you get outside the law, what he's waiting for you to do is public prayer outside of an assembly. He's looking for you to do things that he can attack based off the law. He's not telling you not to do the law. He needs you to do it and break it. That way he gets to play around because he's going to give you choice. Now, you know God going to kill you for that. It's like, you know, the boy that flew on the hood of the car. You know you done messed up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what they say. You know you done messed up now. Now look, you can play with me and I'll see if I can talk to God for you. You know I went and talked to him when I was talking about Job, and you fall for it. Mm-hmm. You think he'll listen to you? I'm sure he'll listen to me. And one then thinks Satan is on his side, like Saul did and went to the witch of Endor, and all the witches were cast out. The witch even told him, they killing witches. Mm-hmm. You set me up. He like, no, don't worry about it. She like, wait a minute. You the king doing the killing. You there? He like, yeah, with a Raider cap on, some dark shade. Yeah, I just need to talk to Sandy. So I ain't gonna get killed. No, you ain't gonna get killed. And she didn't get killed. You know who got killed? Saul and all his children. You all right, LC? Let's get it, y'all. Genesis 1:26. We're gonna move through this, y'all. We got about a good hour or so. And y'all, we gonna see when we're talking about free will, when the Most High made us, he made us to the point that where we didn't need anything from anybody else. When I make you like myself, I'm not gonna have you as a scaled down model. Only in the sense of worship. Because I made you, you ain't gonna even acknowledge I made you. But you'll call on me when you get hurt, when can't nobody else holler for you. You're talking, I know this tough doctor, but when that doctor come in and say, look, ain't no need in you spending no more money, or you a spiritual man or woman. Yeah, well, you need to call who you talk to about that cause. Medicine is over for us. We ain't got nothing else we can use. You got to take this higher than planet Earth. When a doctor tell you that, what you gonna do? What you got over there, Thomas?
With the acceptance and the conditioning practice of this practice, we are being conditioned that the times to come, anything they take away will not affect us because we don't need it.
Absolutely.
We don't need nothing but two things. That breath of life we blow out.
Got to have that.
And the one gave it to.
That got to have it.
That's it.
That's all it's comprised of. You can't do nothing if breath ain't in your body.
You sure can.
Praise the Most High.
Yes, sir. Let's get to it, y'all.
Reading in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, start the reading in verse 26.
And y'all, this is so important to understand what was done for mankind.
You there? There you are?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Genesis 1 and 26. And Yah said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Now notice he didn't say let him have dominion over the heavens, over my throne. He said, but we're gonna make him in our image, after our likeness. That's perfection, ain't it?
Yeah.
And we're gonna put him in charge of planet Earth. It can't be a caveman, y'all. You can't put him in charge of that. If you don't know what fire is, then you can't roast meat according to the law.
Right.
If you don't know that's a dingleberry you just picked from Twix your butt out and putting it in your mouth, you're not in the image of the Most High. You're in the image of somebody else, ain't you? A fallen angel's child.
And your breath stinks.
And boy, look at your breath surely stinks. Go ahead, what else to say?
Verse 27. So Yah created man in his own image.
In his what?
In his own image. In the image of Yah created he him. Male and female created he them. And Yah blessed them. And Yah said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it.
And do what to it?
And subdue it.
That means take charge of it, don't it?
Right.
Go ahead.
And have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
See, so we can see how he made us and put us in charge of his creation. And you can have all the free will here, but you got to do it according to rules. You got to know how to take care of the fish. You got to know how to take care of the cattle. You got to know how to take care of all of these things when you've been given charge of planet Earth. See, we think we want a kingdom so bad and ain't got a clue you have to deal with all these things when you take over planet Earth. This heathen he's taking care of all the ocean. He's causing a lot of drama, letting oil and plastic go in it, but they have to be in charge of it because we ain't. How you think you living? Who you think in control of that water treatment plant down there? If they wasn't in charge of it, who you gonna put in charge of it? Leroy and Rufus? Look, it'd be more dirty water coming in your tub than you let out.
Oh, shit. That's bad.
That too will be coming up in there. Let's get it. Shalom, sisters. Boy, what's going on?
Verse 29. And Yah said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life. I have given every green herb for meat, and it was so. And Yah saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good.
What was it?
It was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day.
So we need to have evil being created in any of these writings and it say it was good.
Right.
It can't be found, y'all. So we're going to get to the part of free will, what's inside of an individual, that an individual loses his free will. And that means loses his liberty with restrictions. Y'all, when the law say you can't love your mother and father more than you love the Almighty, that's a commandment. If you say free will mean, then why can't, if it's free will, why I can't love them more than you? Because you gonna call me to help them. You ain't gonna call them to help the Lord out. You gonna call your mama and say, Mama, the Lord done fell off his throne. Can you come and give us a hand? No, but you gonna call the Lord. When they tell you, you better call your mama's preacher. It ain't too much time left. Her feet getting cold. And it's moving up. It's at her ankles now. You're going to be calling on the Lord savagely, ain't you? Them prayer emojis going to be going out, flying out. Sirach chapter 15. And y'all, we're going to get some more understanding of how we were created, y'all, so we don't fall or think the Most High ever going to tempt us with evil. He said he don't tempt. He can't be tempted, neither tempted he any man. See, he didn't even let Satan tempt him with evil when he came for Job. He said all of that Job already know about, that can be lost because it's going to happen anyway. If he lived 500 years, everything you're going to destroy today, Satan, will be destroyed anyway in that time. When 500 years pass by, everything you're going to be destroyed would die out anyway. But if you touch that everlasting soul, that's going to be a problem for you, player. Now, I'm commanding you, don't go nowhere near his soul. And he didn't. But he made some things that ripped the soul in half. That tore Job, but Job integrity is in the soul. It's in the tree itself. It can't bear bad fruit because the commandments are there. It knows the opposite side. If I lose this now, and I've been going this far, and I'm finna lose it. Y'all, that day, the hour of temptation is coming, that it says that's gonna come upon every man. What Satan gonna choose, gonna tell you, look at you now. Where your God at now? Where your God at now? Look, he done left you. He said he'll never forsake you. Well, that's what you say. But I feel him even unto death. Because he told me when we got started with this, some of y'all gonna die. He didn't say except you.
Right.
Let's get some up. Sirach 15. You got it.
From me? All right, Sirach chapter 15. We're going to start at verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Verse 1.
And this is y'all getting into layman terms of what free will is. Go ahead, bro.
Sirach chapter 15, verse 1. He that feareth the Lord will do good.
What he gonna do?
Do good. And he that have the knowledge of the law shall obtain her.
See, you got to have not. Notice how good and law keep going together hand in hand. How do you then let somebody tell you the light is gone out, the law is no more, or it's been tampered with? Y'all, it's a problem. Then that means it can't be no judgment day. All of that goes out of the window. Every commandment after, every prophecy after that goes away if you let somebody convince you of that. Go ahead, get some up.
Verse 2. And as a mother shall she meet him, and receive him as a wife married of a virgin. With the bread of understanding shall she feed him.
What shall she feed him with?
The bread of understanding.
Hold that right real quick. Just give me Isaiah 55, 1 through 8, so we get some understanding of what bread is that satisfies.
You just want me to read it?
Yeah, just 1 through 8 real quick.
All right, Isaiah chapter 55. You did say Isaiah 55.
Yeah, is that 1 through 8 coming by bread and milk? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isaiah chapter 55, verse 1. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the water. And he that hath no money.
He that hath no what?
Money. Come ye, buy and eat. Yeah, Come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread?
Why do you spend money for that which is not nutritious for you?
Right.
Why would you go get something that you're gonna try to run back to anyway, you know, or it's no good, you're gonna have to bail out on it and come back to the Bible? Why you keep buying that hybrid meat, so to speak, when you go serve another God? That bread is that's bread that don't satisfy.
Right.
You can't get enough of it. That's why you keep bouncing and bouncing till you bounce to atheism.
Yep.
What else to say?
And your labor for that which satisfieth not. Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear, and come unto me. Hear, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David.
See, he said your soul shall live, not your flesh. And I will make a covenant with you. Go ahead.
Verse 4. Behold, I have given for him a witness to the people, a leader and a commander to the people. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knowest not, and nations that knew not thee shall run unto thee because of the Lord thy God.
You can hold that. I just want you to read, don't go after bread that don't satisfy. And these books written by other men, these books outside the Bible, it doesn't satisfy because it don't satisfy them. Because when you show them one part in there and say, what about this part? Oh, that's the part don't satisfy me, so I changed my mind on that too. You ain't never satisfied. You're changing your mind on the stuff you're trying to change the mind to other people too. You changing your mind on that, you cannot be satisfied. And you keep buying bread that won't satisfy. That's like going to a restaurant consistently, don't put seasoning on their food. Everything in there tastes like lettuce, even the chicken. I mean, you like, why are you going back there tomorrow? Go ahead, bro.
Back in the book of Sirach chapter 15, verse 3. With the bread of understanding shall she feed him, and give him the water of wisdom to drink. He shall be stayed upon her, and shall not be moved.
Right.
And shall rely upon her, and shall not be confounded. She shall exalt him above his neighbors, and in the midst of the congregation shall she open his mouth.
And see, and that's where the wisdom will show. Amongst the congregation, that's what wisdom will do for you. And then you share that bread with your neighbor. That's all the Melchizedek, ain't it? Breaking bread and wine. That's what you're doing. We breaking wisdom. This ain't just to be eating nothing that look, cause you stayed out the club all night and you then ate up a whole row of them church crackers. No, this ain't that. Go ahead.
Verse 6. He shall find joy and a crown of gladness, and she shall cause him to inherit an everlasting name.
See, that's the name we talking about, that the Messiah talking about, and I'll give you a name on a stone that no man know but yourself. That's what it's talking about. That's the name you're going to be called in the kingdom. That's the name. So if you hear anybody saying they saved, ask them, what's the name you're going to be called in the kingdom? Junior Jackson. No, that ain't it. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 7.
Yeah.
But foolish men shall not attain unto her, and sinners shall not see her. For she is far from pride.
Where is she far from?
Pride. And men that are liars could not remember her.
See, and that's why it seems like when these individuals go from the law, they can't remember it no more. They go back to square one. They're back to pointing and cherry picking. Don't even know the scripts anymore. You can't retain her once you turn your back on. Let's read some more.
Verse 9. Praise is not seemly in the mouth of a sinner, for it was not sent him of the Lord. For praise shall be uttered in wisdom, and the Lord will prosper it. Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away.
You can't say that, oh, yo, the reason I fell off and I ain't in the Bible no more, the Lord had bigger things for me to do. What? And you're not in the Bible anymore?
Right.
What he got for you to do? Let's read some more.
For thou oughtest not to do the things that he hated.
See, that's the question right there. Don't that answer that? Don't say that. Don't do what he tell you not to do. And then you won't be making the statement, it is through the Lord that I fell away. That's like saying he tempted me with evil. Right. No, you had free will. Go ahead.
Right.
Verse 12. Say not thou, he hath caused me to err, for he hath no need of the sinful man.
Y'all see that? He said, I have no need of a sinful man. Why would I make you err? I have no need of a sinful man. You don't want to obey me, you're not going to be around me anyway.
Right.
You can tell that lie to the devil. He like lies. Go ahead.
Verse 13. The Lord hateth all abomination, and they that fear God love it not. He himself made man from the beginning, and left him in the hand of his counsel, and to perform except.
No, you skipped the whole verse.
Verse 14 again. He himself made man from the beginning, and left him in the hand of his counsel. If thou wilt to keep the commandments and to perform acceptable faithfulness, he hath set fire and water before thee. Stretch forth thine hand unto whether thou wilt. Before man is life and death, and whether him liketh shall be given him. For the wisdom of the Lord is great, and he is mighty in power, and beholdeth all things. And his eyes are upon them that fear him, and he knoweth every work of man. He hath commanded no man to do wicked.
He had done what?
Commanded no man to do wicked. Neither hath he given any man license to sin.
So now when you understand Isaiah 45:7, he didn't create evil. Evil was created when you fall, because we keep seeing the word wickedness tied to when you break the commandment. That's when evil is created. That's the only way it's created, because the Most High has to answer for Satan. Well, what happened to Satan? Did you create him to fall? No, he fell on his own, and we saw a word in there called pride. But pride is not no spirit that jumps on you. Pride is of your own mindset that elevates past where it should go. It thinks it becomes the ruler of the house. Why can't I go up there? So what? He made me. I'll make something for him. See, next, and then you'll be telling him what to do. Like your children telling you what to do. Daddy, where the keys to your car at? I gotta go to work, son. I don't care nothing about you got to go to work. Where the keys at? Bertha waiting on me. Bertha. Boy, look at it. Boy, look at it.
Big girl name,
Ezekiel 28, y'all, then we're gonna run Sirach 10. And we're gonna finish out with that Ecclesiastes 12 and Revelation 19. But we need to run and see why pride is so dangerous. There's nothing wrong with being proud, but pride is something different. Pride means my dung don't stink. Pride means everybody else is wrong and I'm right. 28. And we're going to see about who the chief adversary is in our war with him and what led him astray. Is to get what's called high-minded. Why do you think he called it high-minded? Because your mind done went past planet Earth. He told you in charge of Earth, have he? He told you to call on no ancestors from up there, did he?
No.
He said, dirt, go back. You need to be at a graveyard calling on them.
Yep.
That's where Saul went. You just speaking into the air, like it say. Ain't nobody up there. What they doing up there? What your ancestors doing? Your ancestors waiting on judgment day, where every word, every idle word, gonna be brought into judgment.
That's right.
And seeing when it talks about what comes out of you defile you, that's why when evil people they're so evil they be bent over because they be so sick. And that's what wickedness do to you. It just make you sick in the stomach because you can't stand nobody. Look at him just over there, just bought him a car and go to work every day. I can't stand his ass.
Right. Who do you think he is?
Yeah. Look at them kids dressed up, got Afro sheen in their hair and good oil on their face going to school. Rotten ass kids. No, I mean just evil. And they gonna always be bent over, y'all. That's why they always show witches bent over. Where we at?
Ezekiel chapter 28.
Yes, sir. Start about verse 12.
I'm gonna start with
You gonna start at 9? Okay.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I said 11.
Okay.
Yeah. Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 11.
No, go ahead. I'm good, bro.
Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord God, Thou sealest up the sun full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God, and every precious stone was thy covering.
Right.
The sardines, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared in thee in the day that thou was created.
In the day that thou was created, this Satan, he was prepared perfect. Do we see pride put in it? We see a breastplate on it, just like Aaron them had. He's a high priest. This king is talking about. Let's see what else it said about it. Say he was in the Garden of Eden too. Let's read some more.
Verse 14. Thou art the anointed cherub.
Who is thou?
The anointed cherub that covereth. And I have set thee so. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God.
It say thou was on the holy mountain of God, but you ain't there no more.
Right.
Let's read some more.
Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. Thou wast perfect in thy ways from the day that thou wast created, till iniquity was found in thee.
See, it say thou was perfect. Satan was perfect. Till what happened?
Iniquity was found in thee.
It was found in him. It wasn't created. He was created perfect. But iniquity worked its way in there. And since there's no head above the serpent, it would give you what caused him to fall. Just like Satan tempted David. It said it tempted David to number Israel. Satan tempted Peter and said he's going to sift you like wheat. He tempted Judas Iscariot. But ain't no demons reporting back to no other being except Satan. The Antichrist is the son of who?
Satan.
Right, he ain't the son of Buddha, is he?
No.
He ain't the son of Pharaoh. He's the son of Satan. Let's keep it moving and understand how he was created. This is the beginning of evil, and it said there was no evil found in him at the beginning because he was made perfect. And then something happened to cause that evil to be found in him. Let's see what it was. Go ahead.
Verse 16. By the multitude of thy merchandise, they have filled the midst of thee with violence.
Right.
And thou hast sinned.
What hast thou done?
Sin. Therefore I will cast thee as profane out of the mountain of God, and I will destroy thee, O covering cherub, from the midst of the stones of fire. Thine heart was lifted up because of thy beauty. Thou hast corrupted thy wisdom by reason of thy brightness. I will cast thee to the ground. I will lay thee before kings, that they may behold thee. Thou hast defiled thy sanctuary by the multitude of thine iniquity.
See, he has done what? Defiler or made unclean. He defiled his sanctity, his holy place. He did that. Thou hast defiled, and that means to be made unworthy. Defilement, y'all, it ain't no more good. Booger fall off in a pot of greens, it's defiled, ain't it? Or you gonna try to say, just give me some on that side of the pot. Go ahead.
By the iniquity of thy traffic, therefore will I bring forth a fire from the midst of thee. It shall devour thee, and I will bring thee to ashes upon the earth in the sight of all them that behold thee. All they that know thee among the people shall be astonished at thee. Thou shalt be a terror, and never shalt thou be any more.
So we can hold there and we can see this is talking about Lucifer. He was an anointed cherub. He covered just like Michael and Gabriel. That's why they started to scrap. It say the dragon. Give me a little bit of Revelation 12 real quick, and then we're going to move on. We're going to see what the war was. Was the war with any other beings or entities or any other gods, y'all? Because this Bible only speaks of one adversary and his buddies.
Revelation.
Start about verse 7. Y'all read 1 through 7.
Read 1 through 7.
Y'all read 1 through 7. We're going to start about verse 7.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. And there was war in heaven.
What was there in heaven?
War in heaven.
So war means somebody fighting in heaven, ain't they? Or they using weapons of war. They have to be, because they taught men on earth how to make. So that war was serious up there, y'all. Let's see who was in that war. Go ahead.
Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels.
See, so Michael has angels that he's in charge of. And they went to scrap with Satan and his angels. He has a host that was with him. And there's a war going on in heaven. What else to say?
I got a question.
Go ahead, bro.
Because you know how like when Enoch was ascending to like the different heavens, and each one he would go to, he would see an angel sitting on the throne, and then he had angels that sat on the right side, then the left side.
Well, that was covering. They were covering treasure houses and different things. But you only see one sitting on the throne, on the right hand of the Father. But they're in charge of things. You know, you may see, I saw an angel over the treasure house of this and over the guard of the fallen. We're gonna hit a little bit of Jude. Gonna clear that up for you. Go ahead, bro. If that's what you asked.
Verse 8. And prevailed not.
And what he do?
Prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out.
Right.
That old serpent.
That what?
Old serpent.
He's that old serpent, y'all. He ain't a new serpent. He's old. Go ahead.
Called the devil.
Who is he called?
The devil. And Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So we see that him and his angels were cast out into the earth. That those watchers who fail are not cast out into the earth. Give me a little bit of that Jude. That's the book right before Revelation.
What verse?
You start about verse 5, and we're going to read through, down to 10. And we're going to see Michael involved with this again. And y'all, Michael is a 5-star general in this. The Father is the president, so to speak. The Messiah is the vice president. Michael, Gabriel, Raphael are 5-star generals over many other angels that they handle the business. Let's read some more. But just like the president and vice president ain't picking up no AR-15, is it? Kamala Harris ain't got no AR, do she?
No, probably at the crib.
At the crib, but yeah. Go ahead.
He's a sister.
Yeah.
The book of Jude, we gonna start at verse 5.
Yes, sir.
I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not, and the angels which kept not their first estate,
Right.
but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
See, under chains of darkness. I want y'all to understand this, a chain of darkness. When you read about Enoch, they're in a dark place and they're technically falling, waiting to feel the bottom. But they've been falling for years. And it's so dark, it's as thick as the darkness that was in Egypt. It say the darkness so thick you could have cut it with a knife. I'm talking about darkness, it say you could feel the thick darkness. Can you put your hand on dark? You could actually feel darkness. And they're held in chains in darkness, and you're falling. You know how when you fall in a dream and then you finally wake up, feel like you fall down a black hole, but you wake up, you're like, whoo, glad I woke up out of that. That's continual for them angels. Non-stop, 24/7. This is their punishment and condition before they get to Judgment Day. Let's read some more.
Verse 7. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication.
And see, and that's what them angels did, wasn't it? Giving yourself over to fornication. Y'all, this means serving other gods because you're having sex with other gods mentally. And you get no reward for it. The Most High talked about us in Ezekiel 16. He said, even a harlot gets something for hire. Somebody bring us something. Then Jacob give his whole heritage away to Tamar. Judah. I'm sorry, Judah.
Yeah.
He gave it all away to her. She was on the side. And they just got legs spread open to Buddha and Pharaoh for no cost. Let's read some more.
And going after strange flesh, and are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. Likewise also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignity.
And y'all keep seeing the word defile versus unclean. Unclean is a contamination period, y'all, only. You're unclean.
Until.
How can he say the marriage bed is honorable and then have the word unclean? If he had the word defile in there, it'd be a different story. It never says the marriage bed is defiled unto evening. That would be a problem.
Yeah.
Let's read some more.
Verse 9. Yet Michael, the archangel, when contending with the devil, he disputed about the body of Moses, durst not bring against him a railing accusation, but said, the Lord rebuke thee.
See, that's all he had to say was the Lord rebuke thee. Satan will go away, but he got us so buffaloed that when he show up, you scared to death. Just tell him the Lord rebuke thee. He'd be like, damn, you know, don't you? Yeah, I know. Well, I'll be back tomorrow, see if you still remember. I'll be back tomorrow. We can hold that, y'all. I just wanted to tie that two in, that these were two separate groups that the war in heaven was about. These Michael locked up, and notice he didn't dispute with fallen angels. The watchers who were cast into these dark prisons. It was against Satan that he was arguing about Moses' body was. He said, man, get out the way. So that's what also Moses was here in the same place, and his sepulcher, we don't know where it was, the same as the Ark of the Covenant in the same mount that Jeremiah hid it the same way. That's why Revelation 19 say the Ark of the Covenant. 11:19 say the Ark of the Covenant is with the Most High. When he went to get Moses' body, that lawgiver bring my law back with him too. But we got this here, and then we got it right here. So we don't need to see the Ark of the Covenant. If you saw it wrote on stones, would that make you stop sinning? I'm just saying, if you actually saw the actual 10 Commandments and you start reading, would that make you stop sinning? No, it ain't. If it ain't here, all you're seeing is the original document. And y'all, that's a marriage certificate. You got Negroes now whining, talking about make a woman do a marriage video to say she accept you. How you gonna make her do that? Since when do a marriage you make the bride do something? Since when did that happen? Now you say your vow. She ain't got no vows. This is what it is right here. She gonna do what I tell her, or the heifer gonna get some punishment. Now finish up, Reverend. But that ain't what these scripts say. There's a covenant that you accept. Like in the book of Tobit, 6th chapter, when him and his wife, they did vows before they went into the chamber. She said hers and he said his. I will not take this woman for lust. I'm not going to bring all this stuff from my youth into this chamber. It's a different story now. Because that demon was waiting on him to come in there for some clowning. Let's get some more. Where we at? Sirach chapter 10. I tell you what, while we go into this pride, let's just see once again what the Messiah say to Satan. Y'all, we're going to finish out with this Sirach 10 and these last two. Give me a Matthew 4, 1 through 4. And I just want to once again, Satan don't want to be the Messiah. He wants to be the Father. Let's get it understood. He's not trying to take the Messiah's place. He say, I have a son called the Antichrist that's going to battle him. I want to go up there where the Father is. What I got kicked out from heaven for, they're still the same with me.
Sirach out of Matthew.
No, I want Matthew 4, 1 through 4. And then we're going to jump on that Sirach 10, hit them last two, y'all, we'll close out. Y'all, what we're talking about is free will, and we see that free will goes away when pride comes in an individual. Pride, y'all, is a thing that, like I say, when no matter what, everybody else is wrong except you. Even God. Y'all, do y'all know that's what they say is in the Talmud? If God and a rabbi have a discussion, they say the rabbi's right. What you got back there, LC? Huh? That's why they say don't call nobody rabbi. But still, what it's saying is, even if you don't call them rabbi, if you believe that doctrine that you can argue with God and he's wrong, that's like arguing with your parents. Mama, you wrong. You wrong for that, Mama. I'm going to tell you again. Get that hot tail gal out of my room. In my house that I pay for. Mama, that's my room. Get her out of here. Y'all ain't there. And she got my slip on. You couldn't even buy no sexy lingerie. I mean, that's the way it's spelled, but it's lingerie.
Right.
Yeah.
What that rag doing?
Right.
Boy, it's nasty.
Let's get some more.
All right, family, we're going to be reading in the book of Matthew, chapter 4, and we'll start the reading in verse 1. A second to get that. Matthew chapter.
No, I was just going to say, y'all, over and over we're going to see Satan never tempts you or ever tells you the law is done and over with. He has never done it. And so when you see men going lower than that, that's evil being created at that point, because they say the light of the law is gone out. That's evil. That's going to create evil. Go ahead.
The book of Matthew, chapter 4 and verse 1. Then was Yeshua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungry. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of Yah, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written.
It is what?
It is written. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yah. You want more than that?
Yeah, I want all that. Yeah.
Okay, let's get it. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, If thou be the Son of Yah, cast thyself down, for it is written, He shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
Is that true what Satan just said? That's law. It's in the law. The Most High said that, but it's how he said it that the Messiah answers it, so we don't get prideful and think that because he said that you can run out what they call it, rush hour traffic. He got my back.
Right.
He said he'll lift me up. I'm gonna jump off this cliff. I'm gonna jump off the Grand Canyon. You think he gonna bear you up? No, because of this next verse. Let's get it.
Verse 7.
Yeshua
said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Most High thy Elohim.
Don't tempt him, y'all. Don't do none of these TikTok challenges. What would make you run up a set of those, what are those crates? Jake been showing that. I'm talking about, man, people knocking all their front teeth out. One lady arm was broke. What is it? That's what's called a daredevil. You're daring the devil. There's no reward for it. There's hospitalization and money. I mean, what were they going to get if they ran up and came back down successful? What on TikTok do? What's the reward?
Yeah, there's nothing.
Huh?
Self-satisfaction.
Self-satisfaction.
That's it.
I ran up some milk crates.
That's it.
That's it? What happened now? And walked all the way up? And walked right back down? What's the reward? I heard a gal did a high heel shoe. But what is the reward? I mean, it's one thing if it's saying now he's got a line he's got a new roll through blunt shop, and he just get you fast as you can walk up them crates and nets. I mean, what else she gonna do? She gonna open Crate Stiletto store? You can do the TikTok. I mean, what's the reward? Nothing, is it? Just vain glory. That's all it is, y'all. It's being hypnotized to challenge and put your life in danger over some things like that. Ice bucket challenge, pouring ice over your head, all that. We had one bro around here, the lieutenant, did the ice bucket challenge. You know what it was? He showed himself sticking his hand in a cold cooler and pulling up a cold Budweiser and crack it open. That was the ice bucket challenge. We can do that one. Let's read some more. What else to say?
Verse 8.
Yeah.
Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and showeth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them.
All the kingdoms of the world. That means the current ones at that time and the future ones. Showed them America. Look at this in its glory. I'm talking about this glory day, them days Trump talking about. He showed them America too. Go ahead, what does it say?
Verse 9. And saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then said Yeshua unto him, Get thee hence.
What did he say to him?
Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Most High thy Elohim, and him only shalt thou serve.
That's right.
Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
See, and then after that, the Most High, after a test, he'll send angels to minister to you, build you back up, strengthen you back up, bring you food and water, whatever you need at that point, because you fought the devil off with no physical bread and water. So basically, you was fighting him with your soul. Physical fighting, like how Jacob wrestled an angel and his hip was out of joint. A physical scrap in your sleep. Y'all done had physical scraps. Most of them was though the opposite end. Somebody was chasing you and you woke up tired, couldn't hardly walk to the bathroom. Been running in your dream the whole night. I'm talking about you look up and he on you like a monster movie. How he walking like this and then you driving 70 miles an hour and you at the stop sign and here he is right behind you. Walking like that? Where we at?
Verse 12.
I think we're good on that.
Yeah, we should be.
Let's get right to Sirach chapter 10, y'all. And we got 2 verses after that we're going to close out. Look like we may get out of here a little early. Look like we're going to be on some Nat Turner time.
I heard that. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, Sirach chapter 10. That's in the Apocrypha family.
Y'all, what we're talking about is free will. And y'all, we see it keep coming down to keeping the commandments of the Lord, which is near you. It's liberty, y'all, because he say they're not grievous. His laws are not grievous. What scripture in the law, what part of the law is just, you be like, dang! Why are you trying to make us do that? What law does that to any individual? I'm just asking. Which law is grievous? Because you know what you always say when you look in that mirror, I should have followed my what?
First one.
Okay. And that's you in the car by yourself. Long, you gonna leave out? Bye, baby girl. Good. Where we at?
We're in the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 10 and verse 1. Let's get some understanding.
Yes, sir.
A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered.
That's right.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Verse 3. An unwise king destroyeth his people.
What'd he do?
He destroyeth his people.
Uh-huh.
But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Most High, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. In the hand of Yah is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor. Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices.
So, y'all, don't hate your neighbor for every wrong. I'm talking about every time they do something you can't wait to chastise. For every wrong, that'll wear an individual out. Hey, man, I'm just calling you, man. I heard you ran 2 stop signs today. Man, what? You called me for that? You didn't call them again about something tomorrow. Man, I heard you was late for work again. An injurious person, what did it say, bro?
It says, bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practice.
Injurious practice. The way you set this up, somebody's going to be hurt.
Right.
See, and that's why we say we can't counsel marriages, because somebody's going to be hurt. If you deal with one side and the other side gonna turn, you're gonna end up being hurt because they're gonna put the blame back on you. You'll be the person responsible. Or you have injurious practices. Everything you do is set up to harm. You know before you do, it's a deceitful mouth. It's a mouth full of guile. You know when you're setting this plan up, it can't possibly work, but you just don't care. Your house is destroyed, so you keep telling the individual what you would do if she was your wife. Mm-hmm. And those practices may have been how he was raised. Man, I buried my foot in her rear end. Man, I do this, I do this. So what about Ephesians 5? What man hateth his own flesh?
Right.
How is everyone that you get is wicked and you keep going to the same store? That's what I can't understand for the life of me. Why? That's called insane, ain't it?
Yeah.
If you know they can't be anything but wicked, you teach that. What makes you still sign a covenant with it and then want to force them on a video to accept it? What kind of madness is that, y'all? That's called pride.
You said you can't expect top quality shopping at the Dollar Tree.
Oh, boy, look here. How you gonna expect it? It's irregulars in there. Mm-hmm. You can't trust drawers from Family Dollar, them irregulars.
Right.
The slit may be in the back.
On the side.
On the side, yeah.
What is this good for on the side of
Boy,
my
look
leg?
here. Where we at?
Verse 7.
Yeah.
Pride is hateful before Yah and man.
What is 3 that again?
Pride is hateful before Yah and man.
Uh-huh.
And by both doth one commit iniquity.
You see what causes iniquity, so now we get back to what causes evil for Satan. Pride. It's hurtful, y'all. When you think your dung don't stink, you're prideful. Mm-hmm. You done went to a whole nother level. Go ahead.
Verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Uh-huh.
Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man.
Ooh.
For such an one setteth his own soul to sale.
What'd he do?
Setteth his own soul to sale.
So we often ask, can you sell your soul? It say one put it his soul for sale, but he technically can't do it. But it's telling you that nothing more than a wicked, covetous man. He wanted so bad that he would set his soul to sale. And that's what Satan always asks. Will you do it for this much? Some men won't, they don't care about the price of fame. Look, Dave Chappelle, they was asking him in that movie, what was it, where they're playing the police, looking for the diamond. I guess that was Dave Chappelle in there. You know the one where he's beating him up and told him to act like Blue Street, yeah, Martin Lawrence. Who was I saying? Eddie Murphy? Dave Chappelle. He was in there. But they went to the trailer, they told him, you will be so much funnier, Dave. We want you to dress up, be a transvestite. It's gonna be funny. He said, I'm funny like I am.
Right.
He said, then they sent in another guy. And then he said, after 2 or 3 guys he went, he said, then they sent in Martin Lawrence. Man, look, the paper pay good, man. And look, man, it's just acting. He like, no, I don't want no parts of it. He said, do you know 5 minutes later they gave him the original script? The devil don't force you to do anything. He just lay it out there for you and lay dollar signs out there.
To see if you get drawn away of your own.
Of your own lust, a covetous man that what you saying, the money pays that much and all I got to do is put on a dress? I'll break the commandment of God for this amount. So now it said, that's why he even set his soul for sale, because what the devil is trying to get you to do is how much does it cost for you to break the commandment of God for money? Judas Iscariot did. 30 pieces of silver. Go ahead.
He must have broke because when they made that movie, Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Uh-huh. In that movie Dave Chappelle was, boy, he broke down in that. I'm gonna have to see that then.
Men in tights. Yeah.
He had on woman clothing.
Yeah.
Boy, they sure know how to keep coming back, don't they? So you beat them on that end, then they come back on another end. I'm gonna have to see that. Well, I can't say that no more.
Men in tights.
Go ahead. I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, go ahead. What else to say?
Continuation of verse 9.
Read verse 9 again for me.
I'll read it from the top. Why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul to sale. Because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels.
Right.
The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. For when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts and worms.
Ooh.
The beginning of pride is when one departeth from Yah.
So you see how evil is created? It say the beginning of pride is when one departs from the Most High.
Right.
Because you're saying I don't need him no more. I don't need him. I got paper.
You got these cats out here exalting themselves in the same mindset.
Same mindset. Go ahead.
And his heart is turned away from his maker. For pride is the beginning of sin.
Y'all see this, y'all, once again. What's the beginning of sin?
Pride is the beginning of sin. And he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore Yahweh brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them utterly. Yahweh hath cast down the thrones of proud princes, and set up the meek in their stead. Yahweh hath plucked up the roots of the proud nations, and planted the lowly in their place.
See, he plucked them up by the roots, so
Yeah.
they can't go back.
That's right.
Go ahead.
The Most High overthrew countries of the heathen, and destroyed them to the foundations of the earth. He took some of them away, and destroyed them, and hath made their memorial to cease from the earth.
See, make their memorial to cease from earth. See, y'all see how bad pride is, and that's within you to the point to where you say, man, I ain't answering to God no more. I'm sick of praying. I don't want to do it no more. I'm my own God.
Right.
I'm going to pray to myself. Y'all, then you're going away from the law, and now the demons will have the mastery of them. Who got something, Iman? Go ahead.
Yes, in verse 15 it says, Yahuwah plucked up the roots of the nation
Of the proud nations.
and planted the lowly in their place. What does that mean?
That means just those that are remorseful, those that show obedience to the Most High, they're the lowly. That's what they think you are, the lowly, because they're high-minded.
Okay.
So the lowly are those who are
Like the remnant?
are what's the term that when
Humble.
you're satisfied
The meek
with
shall inherit
the meek shall inherit the earth.
Okay.
So of those that are it say be what is the term for satisfied with what you have? It's another word. So
Content.
Content with what you have. That's the lowly. They're content. He set them up because there's nothing. They take it as a blessing from the Lord.
Right.
They're not looking at it like he's supposed to give me this.
Right. And they're humble about what they receive.
Absolutely. And you know when prideful set in, and when you hear a man argue, I take care of my kids.
That's pride, right?
That's pride because, well, you made them.
Right. They show responsibility.
You know, I mean, what you want, a trophy? I mean, what you want, a parade? Or I mean, what is this, a challenge of some type of TikTok challenge? What's going on here? You arguing and stomping your feet about that?
Right.
Well, that's what you was doing when them lights was cut off. That's your responsibility. You don't get no reward for that. Only if that offspring don't do what you did and did something greater to make your name greater. The word say, even though you done left this earth, your son here is like you ain't never died. He's doing exactly what you did.
Right.
Go ahead, what else to say? But that's what a lowly man, it's like the meek shall inherit the earth. Like bro said, go ahead.
Verse 18.
Uh-huh.
Pride was not made for men, nor furious anger for them that are born of a woman.
See, none of this was made for man. So and pride is the beginning of sin. So where did the Most High create evil when you keep running what is it, Isaiah 45:7?
Yeah, that's it.
See, it's only a result of something happened that is created. It's an automatic creation. If you don't keep my commandments, they're going to be a creation of evil because you're going to be doing what somebody else wants you to do. And that's going to be against God. It's going to be evil. I set life and death before you. You get a free will choice, but if you let that pride come up in you, if you think you're better than your maker, that's going to be a problem, ain't it?
Yep.
You think you better than your maker. Look here. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 19.
Uh-huh.
They that fear the Most High are a sure seed, and they that love him an honorable plant. They that regard not the law are a dishonorable seed.
So when you hear somebody saying anything about the law, all you have to think, a dishonorable seed. Ain't no need you keep going, keep trying to find something deeper that's going to turn them around. They're a dishonorable seed if they say something is wrong with the law, because then you cannot be judged. It takes it all out of the way, and then it erases the line between good and evil, and it's joined in together, and you never know what's good and evil. You're co-mingling with evil now. Everybody, well, it ain't that bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they do in that custom, but why can't we all just get along?
Right.
Where we at?
Continuation of 19.
Yeah.
They that transgress the commandments are a deceivable seed.
See, that's not hard about this law, is it? Ain't that what we've been continually saying? And Christ was the law. That's why he's the end of the law to all them that believe. He's the perfect example. He's God's commandments formed in the flesh. And once you deny him or say he's tainted with, you done really went too far at that point. Well, I don't trust everything in the New Testament. What else we got to say the Messiah hit planet Earth? What else we got? Some outside sources that say his mother was a whore. You'll read them Roman books. I'm telling you, the weakest man in your classroom, a nerd with a pocket protector in there, say something about his mama, he'll pull 3 ink pens out and stab you to death. About his mama.
Right.
And then you got Negroes still hollering the Messiah's name in Hebrew and believe that he was born through fornication. Let's read some more.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
Among brethren, he that is chief is honored. So are they that fear the Most High in his eyes. The fear of Yahweh goeth before the obtaining of authority, but roughness and pride is the losing thereof.
Y'all see that? Y'all see what's called pride is the lose. And you'll see them when they get prideful, they lose everything. Everything goes away. It's just a matter of time. And time with the Most High ain't our time. But if we in this for the long haul, you're going to see it. You'll watch it just dissipate. Pride get in them and everything will go away. You cannot keep up with pride. It's too much. Especially a covetous man that's prideful. That means he'll go get the money under any circumstance.
Right.
He'll chase that paper. Little Nasty X want all of the nasty money. He done went beyond all the satanic rock groups. It's some rock groups out there now talking about, damn, shit, I feel like a saint behind what he's doing. You slide down a pole to hell on the devil's lap publicly, and you an Israelite. You think Satan loved that? You think Satan loves it?
Yeah.
What you got right there, LC?
You inside your phone, breaking the law.
If you do what?
You inside your phone, breaking the law.
What'd he say, yeah?
That's a mockery to the Most High.
Inside the phone.
Yeah, you inside your phone, recording inside your phone, breaking the law.
Recording yourself breaking the law. Oh yeah, well that's happening on Facebook every day. Recording yourself breaking the law. A boy recorded himself, a Hebrew, killing 2 white women on film. Boy, I'm talking about, I don't know. Well, look, the boy just killed them people in Florida. Didn't have no record, no reports, just heard they was giving away free mushrooms, basically a blunt monkey. And got on them mushrooms and say he felt empowered. He shot at a couple other people and then missed, and then went to the restaurant and said, today, y'all gonna die. And the dude stood up, he said, man, he's just a baby. He had the pistol pointed at the baby. He said he's just a baby, and he stood in front of his child, and he didn't let him have it. Then he started dancing on the body. This Negro went crazy. Y'all, it's demonic spirits out there, y'all. You cannot have your flesh craving anything that you would sell your soul and covet your soul just to take one hit of. Because you through when you do. You smoke that bath salt, it's going to be over. When you strip out of them clothes, because them demons is hot, they let you know what your end is already. And you pull off them clothes from them bath salts, what is it? And bath salts is like them perfume decorations women have in their bathroom. They just roll that up in a joint and start smoking that perfume. That means you cannot be satisfied at that point anymore. You are to the point that you don't care about God's temple anymore. You don't want him to dwell there at all. And it's the same thing when you say the law is done away with, then that means unlawfulness is coming in. If you get rid of the law, what else left to come in?
Sin.
That's the only thing left to come in. Yeah. Let's read some more, y'all.
Verse 22.
Yeah.
Whether he be rich, noble, or poor, their glory is the fear of the Most High.
Yes, sir.
It is not meet to despise the poor man that hath understanding, neither is it convenient to magnify a sinful man.
Y'all hear that? Don't be talking about a poor man because he make a statement. Y'all gonna leave him up? You need to holler at him? I get to keep reading that, y'all. Let me holler at him up there. Go ahead, y'all keep reading that.
Shabbat shalom. Verse 24. Great men and judges and potentates shall be honored, yet is there none of them greater than he that feareth the Most High. Unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free do service, and he that hath knowledge will not grudge when he is reformed. Be not overwise in doing thy business, and boast not thyself in the times of thy distress. Better is he that laboreth and aboundeth in all things, than he that boasteth himself and wanteth bread. My son, glorify thy soul in meekness, and give it honor according to the dignity thereof. Who will justify him that sinneth against his own soul? And who will honor him that dishonoreth his own life? The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches. He that is honored in poverty, how much in riches, or how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty? Yeah, no doubt. Daniel would be here to elaborate on some of that. I'm sure he would want to hear that. So I guess we're going to Ecclesiastes 12.
Last time he right.
Yeah. I got Ecclesiastes 12 and Revelations 19. You got both of them?
Yep.
Where we at?
Ecclesiastes.
Verse 22?
No, we done.
We done?
Yeah.
How we finish that up? All the way down?
To 31, yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
Read that verse 31 for me again.
I knew you wanted to hear some of it.
29 through 31. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
One.
You sure you want
Yes,
me to
sir,
read
20.
all of them again?
Yeah, go back to 25.
I got you.
Okay.
Verse 25. Unto the servant that is wise shall they that are free do service. And he that hath knowledge will not grudge when he is reformed.
See, he that have knowledge, when somebody tell you what a right thing to do, you ain't gonna grumble about it. Pride will make you shut down. Well, yeah, man, that's some good advice, but what I'm saying, player, books can't feed no babies.
Right.
Books can teach you how to feed the babies, though, can't it? But if pride is in you, you're gonna kick against the pricks. Right. Oh, I don't want to see that, man. Ain't nothing in there say a free ride. Where's the free ride scriptures? No, ain't no free ride scripture, only free will, life and death.
The scripture that tell you, ask you, why do you not accept your wrongdoing?
Yeah.
Just as simple.
And look, pride will stop you from accepting.
Instead of accepting correction.
Right. Let's get it, y'all. Where we at?
Verse 26. Be not overwise in doing thy business.
How can you be overwise, y'all? You're thinking too much outside the box at that point. You're overwise.
Singing salad bowls.
Well, just overwise. Basically, you taking it too far. I mean, the understanding is there, and you keep going higher and higher, and then you become overwise, and then that'll make you start to try to think like God. Or people may, when you get overwise, they'll start to look at you like God. So you got to be careful of that you don't become overwise, that people worship. Because next you'll start to make statements like, I'm a God. When you become overwise, like Satan did. He became overwise over his wisdom and said, I want to go up there. That's how you gonna know when pride is set in. The first thing they talk about is up there. Universe, I don't care how they say it, it's the same language as Satan. I want to go up there. I don't care how you talk about a church. Going up yonder, it can't be up there. It's only yonder up to Jerusalem. That's as far as you go. You can't go up there under no circumstances. You're not going up there unless you go to Abraham's bosom, and that means you died for the word of Christ. Belief in him, you go automatically to the third level of heaven. That's the only people. And then you go to sleep up there. You're not walking around. You ain't hanging around. You're not watching the basketball game. None of that stuff. You're asleep.
Why you looking over a cloud?
No, you ain't doing none of that. Real quick, Revelation 6 and 9. Just hit that real quick. Real quick, and we're going to come back to this, y'all. We're still on not turn the time. Go ahead. What you got back there, Tom?
Don't say it, man.
What?
You're overwise when you start saying the Bible has contradictions.
Boy, look here, you done went too far. Now you're challenging God. Boy, that's overwise. Some of it I can believe, but some of it I'm still got questions. You're questioning God.
And before you move on to where you finna go,
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to that. Yeah, go ahead.
if you come back. 2 Corinthians 26 explain that again. Boast not yourself in
Absolutely, bro.
strengths. I need to know what that means.
Give me that real quick. Revelation 6 and 9. Absolutely, bro.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal,
Right.
I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of God.
Y'all heard what he saw under the altar of God? See, notice where they're at. They're still under the altar of God. They're not up there. What else to say they have?
And for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, doest thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? And white robes were given unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they should rest, yet for a little season, until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were.
Now see, they got to go back to sleep. Look, don't worry about it. Y'all locked and loaded. Don't worry about it, but there's another great martyrdom coming on planet Earth. Your brethren, and some more of your brethren's going to be killed like you were for this testimony. What else to say?
Should be fulfilled. That's it for that.
See, should be fulfilled. Something else was given to them. What it say in the next verse?
That's talking about the sixth seal.
You don't say, okay, and white robes given to them. Did I miss that?
Yeah, you missed it.
Okay.
Let me read it again.
Yeah, I want you to read that part again. What was
Verse
given to
11
them?
again. It says, And white robes were given unto them, unto every one of them. And it was said unto them that they shall rest yet for a little season.
You see, white robes are given to them. That's when you see, that's a sign that you've been saved. White robes given to you, but you got to go back to sleep. You're not parading around up there. Judgment day still have to have. We're going to tell the world why you got on a white robe. That judgment still has to go down. You have to be judged and told how you were worthy to wear that robe. You need to know that. You may be thinking because it was that. He was like, no, you remember when you pulled that little boy between them cars that was finna get run over? That was it. That little boy went on to do this. That was it. That one single thing, Lord. Yeah, it was that one thing. All that bad stuff, after that, I discounted that. But there still has to be a judgment for that. That's why I say when you shake the dust from your feet from a house that won't accept, he says it's going to be more tolerable for the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah than it is for that house. That means Sodom and Gomorrah ain't even been judged. They were just annihilated for their behavior. But they ain't been judged yet. They got to be told why that hot brimstone hit in the crack of their rear end when they was banging on locked doors. They're going to have to be told what laws they violated. What you got?
A lot of people can't see it. Ever since we've been dealing with them heathens, like we've been doing heathen stuff, they've been doing crazy stuff. Like you were just talking about the doing the body. They ain't never did no stuff like that till they started being buddy with these heathens.
But look, the last days, y'all, we're going to do some crazier things than this. Everybody's caught up in the world now, doing crazy stuff. And Israel is outpacing everybody in craziness. Go ahead, bro.
When you remember how disciplined we used to be, but we had the Wild West was always wild, but it wasn't like how it is now, but it was just silly, like, you know. All people say
I'm talking about twerking on a police car. How far is it going? You know we in the days of Noah at this point when you have your rear end to the windshield of a police and you have no regard for the law. You at this point you ain't caring about indecent exposure because that's what it is body cam on. You working that windshield like it owe you nothing. And you got everybody running down the side filming it too and it's live. And your mama at work in a meeting and then this come across. What contest you gonna say she was trying to win? What you got, MC?
Like you going down the gas station, your clothes will smell like gas. Boy, your mama didn't keep you there.
Boy, look here.
Where the gas come from?
Where the gas come from? What, you about to set yourself on fire? What? Gasoline draws on. Where we at, y'all? What was we at in this?
We were at the other part of verse 26, which is, and boast not thyself in the time of thy distress.
Y'all see this?
Brew had wanted some clarity on that.
Well, boasting in yourself in a time of distress. Look, you down and out, and you still talking tough. Look, if I get knocked out when y'all wake me up, he's mine. Wait a minute. It's like, look, it's like you teaching karate. You've been taught by the master. You've been taught by the master. And then you done found out your teacher been killed. I mean, what you looking for that man for? He killed my teacher. Look, he killed your teacher.
Right.
The hell you gonna do? Boy, look here. Who got some? You got some on the Steven? Look. Boy, look here. Sha'Carri Richardson we speaking about. Yeah, we was on it like, yeah, she say I smoked that reefer cause my auntie, my mama had died, I was hurt, and she blew everybody away from that. But the word had been out, them Jamaicans don't play.
They don't play.
Them Tribe of Judah sisters don't play because they used to running them hills like that and running uphill at that speed. I'm talking about uphill at that speed. She came in last place in these last trials. Wasn't even, they say she ran a high school time. Yeah. Them Jamaicans was running so fast. I'm like, wait a minute, is they put a wall up for her? And then she, in her pride, that was a perfect example. In her pride, she's still trying to talk to her. That ain't the only race. You MF's gonna see enough. We don't even want to see you. You can't run with them Jamaicans. The best thing for you, you may have smoked that reefer for that cause. I could see if you was in third place or something behind them Jamaicans in third and you close, we get you in the next race. But y'all, it was like me running out there with this broke foot boot on. I mean, they outpaced her by 20 yards in a 100-yard dash. She wasn't even in the running, but yet she started cursing. And this very script, what that script say again? Boast not thyself in the time of thy distress. You're a loser. You got several endorsements, and you came in actually last place, not third place, not second place, not fourth or fifth place. She was in the back, and still talking noise in her distress. Boasting that I'll get them next time. No, the only way you're going to get them is to be on a motorcycle.
Hey, me, I think I'm gonna get girl that wanna beat my time by like 3:10. My best time.
Look, these girls are running Flojo type of time.
One girl beat that time.
Yeah. Well, no, did she?
I thought they said
She was close.
Or either close or tied it up.
But she beat Shakari's best time by like 3:10.
By 3:10, so the best you would have probably got in the Olympics was bronze. But that's a perfect example, bro, of what we're talking about. In your loss, you still talking noise. Look, I'm gonna say this, we're gonna move on. Mike Tyson knew he could never beat Holyfield. You know why? Because Holyfield beat him up in the Olympic trials. Mike Tyson was taking cookies from people in the dome. And he took Evander Holyfield, and Evander stood up and snatched his cookie back. And Mike Tyson threw a blow, and they say Holyfield put it on Mike. They had to separate. But Mike wasn't arguing, like, let me back at him. Right. He just went to his room. So at that point, he knew he couldn't whoop Holyfield. And when you can't whoop nobody, you go to the other techniques. Biting, clawing, headbutting, biting secret places. Will bite a woman on her breast and you a man. That means you getting your rear end tore up. By a woman. Where we at? Finish that up.
Verse 27.
Yeah.
Better is he that laboreth and aboundeth in all things than he that boasteth himself and wanteth bread.
How you talking about a woman and then at the same time beg for help? You know, some of this stuff is just clear understanding. Better is he that labors. Y'all, a lot of this foolishness out here, if there was an 8 to 5, it would stop all of that. When you come home and kick out of them shoes and flick on the TV and figure out what I'm gonna eat and then thinking about tomorrow, you ain't got time to be on no debate contest.
Right.
Unless you ain't got nowhere to be tomorrow. That's why I keep saying enjoy the fruits of your labor.
So even then, tomorrow, you still got somewhere to go.
Boy, you still got some. Boy, look here, tomorrow, until we get back on like Hebrews 10 say, Hebrews 4th chapter, seek that other rest. Because this Sabbath, you so concerned with this Sabbath, not saying not to be concerned with it, but Sunday and Monday's coming. You still got to go back to work. We got to seek that rest that Adam and Eve had before they sinned, where we chill like Emo do now. Just go out and do some painting if she feel like it. If she get tired of painting, she come back in the house. Wouldn't that be nice? But you can't do that on nobody's job. You can't decide, well, yeah, I think I'm gonna take my lunch now. It's 8:15, you just started at 8. Oh, let's get it. You don't want to labor. You're trying to make them fire you. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 28.
Yeah.
My son, glorify thy soul in meekness, and give it honor according to the dignity thereof.
See, that's what you glorify your soul in meekness. Your soul has to be meek. Meek don't mean weak. Meek means a patient and it's another word for it, just a patient and I don't want to use the word virtuous either, but it's a very patient and slow to anger man. That's what meekness is. It don't rile you up, but if you have to get riled up, it's going to be within the law. Moses was called the meekest man on earth. But when Moses saw that Egyptian working that Hebrew over after he had raped his wife, Moses took things to another level. So that lets you know Abraham was meek. But when he had to go get Lot, it wasn't no meekness, was it?
No.
Huh? Some heads was getting split twain, wasn't it? So y'all don't think about cause somebody avoids trouble that they weak. No, they just meek. It's long suffering and patience what I'm looking for. That's all it is, long suffering. You just think about a matter, you're like, no, me going over there and do this just gonna create a backlash. Every action has a what?
Reaction.
So you have to think about all of the reactions that you may get. You have to, when you text, and you have to, no, let me erase that word. You know, oh, good I did because I didn't see this individual on this chain list. And you have to check everything before you push send because it's coming from your mouth. This what you thinking when you type in that, ain't you? And Google know what you thinking sometime too. You type in big black, they'll finish it up. You be like, no, I wasn't really thinking. They like, yes, you was. We go to the cloud and show what else you like big and black. Where we at, bro? Go ahead.
Verse 29.
Yeah.
Who will justify him that sinneth against his own soul?
How can you justify somebody that don't have a consciousness? When somebody do something to a child like that, they're sinning against their own soul. So that's what the scriptures say. How can you justify that? Well, he just having a bad day. He having a bad day. Oh, he ain't had a bad day yet. He's got bad eternity coming. Where we at?
The continuation of 29. And who will honor him that dishonoreth his own life?
Boy, look here. That's like Richard Pryor saying when he was boxing. And he said the guy on the other end was beating himself up before the bell rang. He really don't care about me. He whooping his own ring.
Yeah.
Before the bell starts. Anybody that don't care about their own soul, you have to be careful of. When they make statements about, you dog, I put that on everything. I do that. If one of these popos pull up here, I put that on everything. You got to get out of that car. You got to say, let me out the car, though. You got to get out the car at that point because they don't care about where they end up and what's happening to their children and all their responsibilities. Over this, let's read some more.
Verse 30.
Yeah.
The poor man is honored for his skill, and the rich man is honored for his riches.
Right.
He that is honored in poverty, how much more in riches? And he that is dishonorable in riches, how much more in poverty?
And see, what we're talking about is the difference in understanding what Bill Gates is doing versus a poor man just telling you, keep your system alkaline to fight this virus. What they're doing is trying to teach you to inhabit the virus. It's like Albert Einstein. He had a dream. He took mushrooms to LSD, and he split the atom. He got the code for that from the devil. Splitting the atom could a golf ball size of electricity with an atom split with those components would light New York up for the next 100 years, just that size of it. But he didn't create it for that. He created it to push a button to destroy every man, woman, and child off of planet Earth. So what does he become now with just the push of one button? He can control life at that point, can't he? And what we're talking about, if the Most High say, if I didn't shorten the days, there would be no flesh saved. Y'all, we got 5 major superpowers on this earth sitting on nuclear warheads. If it starts, y'all, we don't have a chance. Y'all think this virus bad? Try breathing in fire and brimstone. I'm talking about thermonuclear radiation. Try breathing. This virus is Chuck Chain talking about this. This is a Boy Scout meeting compared to thermonuclear war released. You think China gonna settle if they say we coming for you for that Wuhan lab to shuttle down? They got nuclear warheads. And once they start pounding y'all, if one hit in Kansas City right now, we got 45 minutes to get our business in order before that radiation blast hits St. Louis. I'm talking about if it drops in the city of Kansas City, we got 45 minutes before all of us will be burnt up to ashes before that radiation blast get here. And they sitting on that like that, y'all. And we worried about small things. This is what the Antichrist is. That's what's going to make him seem like God, is when he stopped the button pushing. When he stopped, the individual finna do like this and he say no and change that around. Everybody gonna say it must be God. It must be God that's doing this. And they're gonna fall for it. But all you gotta do is look up, and if you see the sun and the moon, you say that's the imposter there. That's the imposter. Let's read some more. We finish.
That's it on that.
That's it on that, y'all. We got these last two. We're gonna close out. Man, look, I'm right on time, but I'm 30 minutes behind what Nat Turner usually do. But that was because I had to leave. Was I going for about 2 hours? Okay. These last two, y'all, Ecclesiastes 12 through 14, and Revelation 19. Any questions or concerns so far? You know, so we found out that free will is keeping the commandments of the Most High and you live, or you can allow pride to get in you and think that you don't have to keep them. You done outgrew his commandments, and that's basically what it is. You think you done outgrew his commandments. If you go back to your mother's house and you ain't lived there for 30 years and you go back with the same respect that you left for, you're not high-minded. You're still lowly and meek, and you still respect the house that you grew up in the same way. Don't matter because you living in a mansion and she may be living in a 3-bedroom home or something like that, and you living out in high luxury with swimming pools and stuff. But when you come back to that house, you're treated like it was when you left there. Same exact way. You're not coming in talking about, well, mama, I ain't got to be up in this little cracker box anyway. Nope, you cannot say those things to your mother, to your father, to nobody in authority and in charge, because you're living the high life. Because you know what you're living with the high life, just like the scripture said, a king with all his riches, but you know what's coming? He got a funeral coming. He's got a funeral coming. No matter how rich he is, he's going to start to get old. And when you start to get old, you know death is coming. And if you're young and breaking the commandments, death is right around the corner. Let's get these two, y'all. We're going to close out.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12. You said starting in verse 12 or 13?
Where saw that?
In Ecclesiastes, right in the script.
In the script, not in the Bible.
Sirach?
Not Sirach.
Right, it's not Sirach, it's the Ecclesiastes
Oh, it's the other one.
in the scripture.
All right.
Yeah.
One of the apocryphal is Ecclesiasticus.
Right.
That's serious.
Yep, or Sirach. Well, they made it some leaps and bounds. He said that Siri reminded me of that AI stuff, boy.
Boy, look here.
They're so far ahead in the game with that. I saw some dogs and stuff that they got on patrol already. You know, mechanical dogs, man.
Boy, look here. They already mixing that. Daniel 2:43 is already into effect. Y'all, they're making it where a machine answers all your questions. Siri, look, they talking about you cutting the grass or something, you watching TV at the same time and you miss it. You know how we keep rewinding it? Siri will do it for you. Rewind that part again. Oh, that's what happened. But you're giving your authority over to a machine that holds all the information what you like. And if you want one of them sites you ought not be on, you'll keep rewinding that too. Till you get to your pleasurable stage, from what I heard. What you got, Emo?
The Siri, that's that AI thing, right? I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because it's a machine, and I was asking it some questions one day. I said, well, who created you? Was you an eagle? It said, I don't know that, I can't answer you.
Oh.
I said, well, who is you? Who your daddy? I cannot answer you. I said, you're a liar. I don't know about that.
Right. But look, they're building off of your consciousness. That's why it seemed like when you Google something, it fills it in for you. And you're like, wait a minute. this thing out thinking me now. No, it's just compiling all of your thought process, and it's saying this what you're looking for. I'm studying your mindset. I know what you're looking for.
That's right.
Even when you text.
Even when you text, see, the word will pop up, but see what now. It's the tree of good and evil, y'all. Now, what it want to do is it'll lead you to the scriptures you may be trying to Google. Siri, give me king such and such. But it's how you ask for it. If you ask for the law, that's all it's going to bring up. But if you ask it a question like, should the law be adhered to? Oh, it's going to play with you then. Oh, it's going to play with you at that point. Some say this and then this book, and there you go over reaching in that. Oh, it's gonna offer it because it's the tree of good and evil. What's bitten out the back of this iPhone? Y'all may can't see it because it's an iPhone 5. My grandchildren be riding me. They're like, Papa, you still got that phone? They just calling and texting. What else I'm gonna do with it? But y'all see what's bitten out? What's on that apple? What's taken out? A bite is taken out of it.
Oh, I got that too.
So it's a bite taken out of it because it wants you to think about the Garden of Eden. She bit the apple. That's what it wants to say. This is a tree of good and evil. You can find everything good in here you need. You can get GPS directions down here from out of town. But you can also Google big old, and it'll bring that up too. Won't it? Not only that, but it locks and loads. And when the police come for you, when they've been monitoring you, they coming for this. This can tell if you lie and say I wasn't over there, I was at my auntie's house. This shows every phone call made from latitude and longitude location. It's telling your whole history on you because you can't take it out of your hand. You can't leave it at home.
You know,
Go ahead, Emo.
I have a question. I don't know if it's relevant, but it's about that iCloud thing they speak of. And my son was telling me it goes up into the cloud. So I think of the clouds in the sky, and I said, well, how is that? Because there's clouds up in the sky. When you get in a plane, you go through them clouds.
Right.
So where's our stuff going into what cloud?
It's basically saying it's in the atmosphere, it's in the traffic for Satan. It's out there now. You can't pull it back. That's where Satan caused a lot of traffic. It's in Daniel 10th chapter where the prayers was trying to go up, but he had traffic blocking the prayer. It took Daniel 21 days for that angel to get them prayers through. So that's where they're going to be used against you. They just go where you think they don't exist no more because it's relieving data space on here for you because it's going to the cloud. Now you can keep putting stuff in and we'll store your conscience over here. And what they're doing is storing your consciousness. That's all it's doing. You need to have the law, statutes, and judgments stored in your cloud. That's all they need to see stored in there. So when they go get it, then if they kill you for it, they're killing you for the word of the Most High. That's the only cloud you want them to kill you for. But if they expose you like they done went to R. Kelly's cloud, and it's terrible. What this man has been doing because of riches and got away once. He didn't stop his wickedness. He upped the game and started dealing with little boys now. Dressed one girl up like a little boy, cut all of her off. Wasn't ready to go all the way yet, just dressed her up like a little boy. Finding men who do this. One man ate a donut and he taking money, but now, and then the tricks he's saying, though, he want the women to perform on them where you show in the wrong place for them type of tricks to be exposed from the cloud. Because they got the cloud reception in the penitentiary. And when he get back in them boys' clothes, they're like, oh, we like you like this done to you. You see how long that line stretches? They all want to play. It's going to be rough, y'all. Don't let the cloud have but righteousness in it. That when they pull it, that's what they're going to pull out. Because if you don't, they go back and find pictures from kindergarten. Look at him right here lifting a girl's dress and he's but 5 years old. And you smiling like this. At 5? That's where they start and bring it up. So they want the whole audience to know, no, you ain't the saint they making you out to be these last 2 weeks. You got some history. And we know about it, and we bringing up every photo. Because you know what? We put all our business out on Facebook. Can't go nowhere. Can't go nowhere and eat. That's on there. Every party you go to, every store you go to. Up in Family Dollar, y'all, buying some Q-tips and clean my ears out. You know, I found a Sugar Baby the other day. Who wants to hear that? Just everything.
A sugar baby.
Let's get some more, y'all. Let's finish this off, y'all.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13.
What it say?
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Back it up to verse 12.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 12. And further,
I tell you what, back it up to verse 6. There's something I want to explain there. Go ahead.
yeah. All right, can I say one verse 5?
Yeah, you said verse 5.
It says, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Also, when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fears shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the street.
Uh-oh, talking about death. Uh-huh.
Or ever the silver cord be loose, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel be broken at the cistern.
What does that mean? The silver cord is your spinal cord. Once at death, that breaks the signal to the rest of your body. It goes like this, and the cistern is broken. You lose your bowels, you pee on yourself, all your fluids run out because the silver cord is broken. Connection between the brain and all your bodily functions are snapped at that point. There's no more communication. It's broken at that point. And everything just loosen up. You know, if somebody down an airplane with you sitting in the seat with them, you can't move to another seat. Because they need to investigate, make sure you didn't kill that individual. So you'd be riding with a dead person for 2 hours. And they threw, and then when that body threw and that cistern is broke, now you're smelling like the bathroom back there in the airplane bathroom, and you're trying to look at people like it ain't me. Well, we know it ain't you, but you sitting by it, and you can't move. But y'all, that's what it means when the silver cord is broken, or the golden bowl be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel be broken at the cistern. What verse 7 say?
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was.
Right.
And the spirit shall return to the Most High who gave.
See, and then the dust returns. So it's telling you at that point when the spinal cord, when it breaks off brain activity, just like when they tell you there's no brain function, what does that mean when you're on life support? You dead. They may say the cistern is broken. There's no more communication up here. There's nothing functioning up here. It's dead. Go ahead.
Verse 8.
Uh-huh.
Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed, and sought out, and set in order many proverbs.
That's right.
The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth.
The law. Go ahead.
The words of the wise are as
golds.
Golds.
It's like a fastener. It's like a gold is like a hook, ain't it, bro? It's like what you anchor to. Go ahead.
Right, it's going to explain this. Right. And as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books there is no end. And much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
See, this is the conclusion of the whole matter, not some of it, not a piece of it, but the whole matter. Go ahead.
Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
It's the whole duty of man. Go ahead.
For God shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
See, he gonna bring forth everything, whether it be good or whether it be evil, but there has to be a judgment day, even to tell the people why you're getting in the kingdom. You need to know that. You let me in, Lord, this why. This judgment day. Hit that Revelation 19.
We doing the whole thing?
No, we just gonna do them first, the marriage supper of the Lamb, y'all, because this is what it's coming down to. Y'all, this is what the whole thing is about. We got to be there with a white robe on.
So verse 17 on out.
You wanna do 17 on that? That's it. No, that's no, just read 1 through.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
So 1 through
1 through
9.
Yeah, 1 through 9.
Revelation chapter 19, verse 1. And after these things I heard a great voice of much people in heaven, saying, Hallelujah, salvation and glory and honor and power unto the Lord our God. For true and righteous are his judgments.
What is his judgments?
True and righteous are his judgments.
You can't have that if a law is tampered with. It's impossible to have that if anything is tampered with. Go ahead.
For he hath judged the great whore, which did corrupt the earth with her fornication, and hath avenged the blood of his servants at her hand. And again they said, Hallelujah. And her smoke rose up forever and ever. And the 24 elders and the 4 beasts fell down and worshiped God that sat on the throne, saying, Amen, Hallelujah. And a voice came out of the throne, saying, Praise our God, all ye servants, and ye that fear him, both small and great. And I heard as it were the voice of a great multitude, and as the voice of many waters, and the voice of mighty thundering, saying, Hallelujah, for the Lord God omnipotent reigneth. Let us be glad and rejoice, and give honor to him. For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready.
See, so this is what we get prepared for, that marriage ceremony. You got to have a white robe to be there. When they tell you everybody to wear and wear white, that's what it means. You got to be in the right clothes at that ceremony. You can't be in no African garb of your ancestors. There'll be no bongo drums beating. There'll be no zebra necklaces on. None of that. White robes and a palm in your hand. Go ahead, what else is that?
Verse 8. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And he saith unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of Yahweh.
Go ahead, read on down to a few more verses. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And I fell at the feet to worship him. And he said unto me, Seest thou do it not? I am thy fellow servant.
You see what this angel told him? Get up, partner, off your kneecaps. Go ahead.
And of thy brethren that have the testimony of Jesus. Worship God, for the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy.
See, the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. You get that automatically. Out of all the gifts in 1 Corinthians 12:1 is given this. If you believe in Messiah, the spirit of prophecy will jump on you automatically. Because your whole doctrine now is about his second coming, and every prophecy about it, you're on that. That's a freebie. You get that coming out the gate. Even when you start even in tongues, like the Pentecostals will say, if you don't speak in tongues, you ain't got the Holy Spirit. Well, when you read verse 1 of 1 Corinthians, it starts off talking about prophecy. In the book of tongues, they say, tongues is for prophesying. And when it ends with, and when you get through speaking in tongues, it's for the edification of prophecy. Greater is he that what? Than he to do what? If you don't understand the gift that the Most High gave you and it's a freebie, it's without excuse. If you say I believe, then you need to be getting to prophecies from Genesis and Revelation about the Messiah, because that's the marriage supper. You got to be on point with your prophecies so you get your white robe. And a palm, you can't show up in no Dickies and Timberlands at the marriage supper of the Lamb. It ain't gonna work. You can't show up in your Buddha garb, in your Pharaoh dig up my casket outfit. None of that is getting in. None of it's getting in. Not at the marriage supper of the Lamb. Matthew 10, get some oil in your lamp. Get the law in here, and that'll put oil in there. That'll keep your fire burning, and people will see your light. No oil ain't no light there, is it? We can close out. We got any questions or concerns? Also, y'all, we got to tell y'all this is what we did. We got our holy feast days coming up, y'all.
Yep.
Our fall feast days. We got trumpets, then we got atonement, then we got tabernacles. Y'all know we got tabernacles already locked and loaded. We're going out camping, y'all. We're going out on the 23rd, that Thursday of September, through the 27th. 4 days and nights of camping like we always do. We catch the back end of the feast day because it runs to the 27th, which would be the following day. But y'all, we got trumpets coming up. I believe it's on the 8th.
Yep, 8th.
Is that a Sunday?
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday?
I got right here, Naomi 6. It says Wednesday, September 8th evening through Thursday, September 9th evening.
And see, y'all, by being evening, y'all, with the COVID, it's hard to get spots right now to gather along. But what we've been doing the last couple years because of this COVID, we've been doing what's called individual trumpets. And that's an individual who decides to do this. It's not mandatory. If you say, man, I can house about 10, 15, I'll do trumpets over here. We had like several houses doing trumpets. Or you do the feast yourself, and basically what it is, since it's in the middle of the week, is going to be the radio show will be on, so we blow the trumpet that day, y'all. We holler out wickedness as much as we can. There's also spoken word Wednesday. Even also, I know you're gonna get busy, so it's that day to sound the trumpet. It's Ezekiel 3rd chapter. It's blow the trumpet, y'all. That's what it means. You got to shofar, get some practice in that night. Sound that alarm, and then the Day of Atonement is coming following that. I believe it's on the 16th, is that correct? September?
She's had right here Friday, September 17th.
17th? Okay, we're right around there. I do it 16th, 17th. So that's the Day of Atonement, y'all. That's for 24 hours. If you can do it. If you have some health issues, make sure you have food sufficient and whatever drink you need to do, because you cannot punish yourself for a feast day. If you have an injury, the Most High don't want you to do that, because people will be pointing. See that? Keeping them days. See, I told him he kept Christmas and Halloween. This stuff don't happen on them days. You may get some bad candy, but you ain't gonna be in the hospital because you didn't eat nothing. No, see, so we got to be careful. If you know what's wrong with you, and you know if you got something that you have to have food with, then scale it back to whatever you can, maybe fruit that won't affect anything like that, or low water, but that's a day to break away from everything for 24 hours. Now, we just read about the Messiah, 960 hours he did. 40 days and 40 nights. That's 960 hours, y'all. But if you find yourself like this on the Day of Atonement, talking about a half hour left, ooh, just a half hour left. You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna become a glutton, and you're gonna pound food into you, and your stomach done shrunk, because there's no water or food in it, and you're gonna swell up real quick and feel bloated, and then you're gonna be uncomfortable, and then you're gonna be like this after the Day of Atonement. That's the day you're asking to deliver me from that gluttony and whatever else that's bothering me for 24 hours. Most I say in 24 hours, I get rid of all of that stuff you got. But you got to come to me correct. You can't come halfway and talking about, an hour number 12, then I'm gonna start talking about that. No, you ain't. You got to start at the beginning with this. This ain't Lent. You can't quit what you're doing for 30 days and then go back. You can't stop this for 30 days. When you go into the fast on Day of Atonement, that's what it means to get rid of a stronghold. I got to get this off of me. And this is for sins and stronghold. Children don't have to fast if they have not reached the age of accountability, which means puberty. So have some prepared for them. Don't make them, because they will be suffering. They ain't committed no sins. What sin you gonna have a baby 9 months old fasting for? Quit popping your lips. You're not getting no breast milk. Quit popping your lips, Junior. Children don't have to fast or keep the Day of Atonement. It's to get rid of iniquity. If they don't have them, what are you doing? Right? What are you doing? This when it say the law starts for them, Leviticus 15 chapter. If seed, admit, or a woman reach her flower, they're under the law at that point. At that point, then they need to keep the Day of Atonement, if they've reached those points. If you don't know that that's happening to them, watch them. Up here gonna be real sore on a woman, and a boy's voice gonna crack. Hey, Daddy! He'd be like, wait a minute. Then they'll be smelling of piss. You like, oh, that boy didn't reach that age. But the Most High give you warning just in case you don't know, so you know what stage in life your children have reached. A man's voice will crack because he's going from boyhood to manhood. There's a change in his voice. It's going to crack first. And you need to be aware of that. And when you see that hot tail gal coming around, they are not studying. Homework, I should say. We close out, y'all.
I was going to say, boy, you did a good job of spending that extra time you had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is about the regular time.
Ain't about the regular time.
We was on Daniel time the whole
The whole time.
Boy,
Look
yeah.
here. Well, you sitting there didn't change it, did it not?
All right, family, we're going to get this closing prayer. And it's with the Most High's permission. And it's in the name of His only beloved and begotten Son, our uncrowned King and Lord and Savior, Yahushua HaMashiach. But we know Him as Jesus the Christ, family. Long live the King. Long live the King! Reading in the book of Psalms, in the 140th chapter, it reads, Deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man. Preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischiefs in their hearts. Continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongues like a serpent. Adder's poison is under their lips. Selah.
Selah.
Keep me, O Yahweh, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man, who have purposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me, and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Selah.
Selah.
I said unto the Most High, Thou art my Elohim. Hear the voice of my supplications, O Master. O Yah, the Most High, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Grant not, O Master, the desires of the wicked. Further not his wicked device, lest they exalt themselves. Selah.
Selah.
As for the head of those that compass me about, let the mischief of their own lips cover them. Let burning coals fall upon them. Let them be cast into the fire, into deep pits, that they rise not up again. Let not an evil speaker be established in the earth. Evil shall hunt the violent man to overthrow him. I know that the Most High will maintain the cause of the afflicted and the right of the poor. Surely the righteous shall give thanks unto thy name. The upright shall dwell in thy presence.
Y'all got a second too. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks to the worldwide audience, y'all. Thanks for y'all continued support. One love to all y'all out there. Sister Stacy Young, Sister Neek, and Sister Ray and them out there. Shalom.
Praying for all y'all, family.
Praying for all y'all. If any of y'all still want to get your name